guys, what's going on? FYMyPawn here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Since we last left off, if I do recall correctly, we managed to help, well, quote-unquote help Evelyn. Although, our help ended up making her a little bit poo-poo, a bit insane, as she retrieved memory loss, losing her name completely. Soon after that, we managed to do some edicts, some army management, movement, that sort of thing. Something we usually do. For this stream, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be assisting Camellia. We are also going to be discovering Finnean secrets. And hopefully, by the end of today's stream, we will have achieved true Lichdom. And we will grow stronger. But without further ado, let's get into things and see what happens, because we've got quite a bit to do, as we usually do. Apologies for the delay. I just had to do something real quick. Alright. So, as you can see, restoring order is going to still take like 8 days left of recruitment, but thankfully we've been getting as many people as we possibly can here. Now, I do believe, if I am correct, we've got a lot of stuff to do that is on hand. So, yeah, we've got the Treasure of the Midnight Isles to handle, which requires us to commence the final stage of the hunt, apparently. From there, we've got the Heart of the Fallen Land, which requires to find the Queen of Golf, or the Queen Golfrey. We've got to find the Ineluctable Prison, which I'm probably going to do before I do the Heart of the Fallen Land, so this will be the second to last thing we do. Mainly because I want to. There is a few other things, like Pharasma's Wrath, which is going to be the next best thing. Death's Embrace is always going to complete, so that's fine. I think we actually got 6 days before these things proc off, so that's nice. We've still got to solve the Nameless Ruin riddle. We've got to deal with the Bladesmith, which we are going to be trying to do today. We've also got the... yeah, we've got to do the Horgus drop, and there's, of course, Wenadug's thing. So we might be able to get Wenadug's thing in as well, if we're lucky. But we'll try. That is really all we can do. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to teleport back to Dresden here. We are going to go to a group manager and bring her along. I think with how things are going... yeah, we just need to... I guess we could put him away, and we could bring Triclops instead, but nah. Well... yeah, it might be better if I do this. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Here we go. Now, we will save here. There we go, that should do it. Now, if we go all the way down... we need to go to Kenabres for this next one. It's going to take us a few days, but that is just how it goes. Alright, let's check the edicts going on. Nice. Connections of diplomacy and all that are going well. The Hand of Retribution. A follower of the goddess Melani has arrived in Dresden, in secret, and committed murder. His victim was an officer from Galt who had run from the revolution. Next to the body, they found a note that reads, "Everyone will pay," and a list of future victims that included several other officers. They are denying being involved in anything. Alright, so we got a choice. We can either help the vigilante, which will be chaotic, or we can catch the murderer, which will be lawful. This is going to help diplomacy if we help, or we can go with the lawful, which will help leadership. So we need to decide on diplomacy or leadership. We're going to go with diplomacy because we're going to need to level that up, I think. But other than that, we should be good. Actually, I think I need to... We still do need to level up the leadership, though, I think. But hey, that'll take time, so time is the one thing we've got. I'd say we could level up diplomacy even more. Might as well, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's... I guess we could go with the option that we like the most, I suppose. I like the option of helping the vigilante, so there we go. Commander's servants meticulously studied the backgrounds of these officers. It turned out that they were guilty of mass killings of revolutionaries. By condemning them publicly, the commander assisted Maliante in acting his revenge, and strengthened the relations with Galt. As it should. Okay, we've got a few fates things. We're gonna enchant Baphomet's fire, I guess. Unless we get something else. Okay, do we need to upgrade anything? We got Commander's Parade, which is not going to help us. We are going to go with Skeleton Creation here. We've got Last Forces, which we don't need to do just yet. We are going to enchant Baphomet's Fire. There we go. And the rest should fall into line, I do believe. But anyways, for now, combat comes to be an important thing. Okay, so Demon Army here. Alright, off we go. I guess we'll see how things fare. We'll save, just to be safe. And off we go to the first fight. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's see. What are you gonna do? Alright, you've just opted to charm one of my individuals. That's not fun. Okay, let's reload. Let's hope we get better luck. There we go. That is exactly what I was looking for. Alright, what I can do here is I can use a fireball to get rid of most of those guys. And then we can do Call Lightning here, which will not deal with them. Can we do this? Yes, but it won't deal enough. These guys are demons, so negative energy would work, so... That'll deal damage to them. We only need to deal with the lead two, so we'll get rid of them before they charm one of us. Alright, the skeletons are going to move in and deal the Vrox. And the Babaus are not going to be moving anytime soon. Oh, there we go. We shouldn't need to deal with them too heavily yet. The skeletons and zombies will do the hard labor there. We get our resources back though, and we're good to go. Under the vicious demon's supervision, lots of mortal blacksmiths abducted from every corner of the world were making weapons and armor for the abyssal armies. As a sign of gratitude for being saved, they are willing to fire up the forges again to provide the Crusaders with the best equipment and armaments. Daily income increased, material points 20. Alright, nice. And that's just one army, no less. From here, we should be able to push forward to the Face Stealer Mask, whatever that is. And we should be fine beyond that. Alright. To the army. There you go. Okay, we are patient. Alright. That's not fun. It's not a level of loss I can't tolerate, but... Yeah, no, lightning seems to be like a very weak thing here. I could just double down on channel negative energy. Would that help, though? Not by much. I could load. Yeah, let's load. Maybe I can get better luck here if I load it up. Yep. Yep, we'll load it. Alright, that's still a charm. That's not what we want. They certainly are making our life harder. Maybe I load up and see if I can't debuff them a little bit. Because that would be helpful, at the very least. Way more helpful than what they are doing right now, at least. So, let's try and make an effort to change them a little bit. Alright, so we can call to arms, increasing the total value of our units. Which, honestly, might be the best way to go. It would increase the value of the units here. There we go. Armies increased in power. Nice. We are going to use Mark of Terror on this army, I think. This will reduce their reduce their morale, and we can amplify resistance, I think, which will help against the saving throws against the Ulitu, I guess. So we'll debuff. We will amplify with the advanced squadron here. Power of Gold. How is our finance points looking, actually? I think it's actually doing really good, actually. Hold on. Let's see. So, let's see. We've got a... For every 1,000 finance points, yeah, so it's plus 10. Okay. So we're going to increase the finance points here by 10 and increase their bonus there. So this is going to make them really, really powerful. At least a plus 10, I'd say, so that's good. Okay, it's a bit of a beefy change, but it should change the tide of battle in our favor significantly, I would say. But hey, that's just how crusading goes in this case. Okay, they have thoroughly accosted us. That's not fun. Let us load this up once more and just hope we get lucky. At the rate we're going, things aren't going to go as well. We just got to make sure the RNG is in our favor so that... We need to make sure the RNG hits hard good enough that it's going to just fear the Litu. That is the intended goal, basically. If she's feared, then we're doing our job. Or, it's doing its job. Okay, it doesn't affect. Perfect. That's perfectly fine by me. As long as it doesn't affect, we're good. Okay, we are going to channel negative energy, I'd say. Okay, we will strike at the heart of the Litu, I think. Let's do that again. There we go. Alright, let's hit the Litu here. Boop. Alright, the skeletons are going to go hit here. There we go. These zombies are going to move up. Alright. We are going to Scorching Ray the skiers here, being the biggest threat currently to us. Alright, you hit us. Alright, that's fine. We can get the skeletons in on this. Whoop. Alright, Scorching Ray again. Get rid of them, so that way the archers are not going to be taken out by them. Okay, so they can only go to these squares, I think. So if we move here and here, we are going to hold up. Alright. Now, if we go and hit this guy perpetually at a range, we shouldn't need to worry. Because the more he delays, the more he's just going to hurt himself. Yep, there we go. Alright. From behind, there we go. And we can just take him out with the archers. There we go. Done. Nice. We get some level up, we get some experience, but ultimately, the fight is won. And thankfully the saves really helped our skeletons there, so... works for me. At the head of the demonic army, a powerful Litu demon was marching. Her eyeless face was hidden behind an eerie mirror-like mask. The spectacular mask was shattered, but the demon had melted its shard right into her flesh. A mage who sensed the power of the strange relic retrieved the reflective shards and gave them to the commander. Alright, as a result though, we do get a level up. We get the benefit of Heal, Ice Storm, Firestorm, or Crushing Despair. Considering we are trying to intimidate them and make them just lose more turns, this is actually a pretty interesting power to utilize. All enemy units receive a -2 to attack and initiative for 3 rounds, and a -10 plus power divided by 5 penalty to combat morale. It's an arcane spell with mind affecting effect. Tempting, not required, but it's interesting. Ice Storm is a cold spell with a 3x3 area with a -2 to speed. Firestorm is basically a 5x5 area, which also deals a d10 instead of the normal fireball. So I think Firestorm overall is going to be a lot more offensive and powerful than a fireball. Considering a fireball deals a... yeah. So Ice Storm is the alternative to fireball, so we're going to go with Firestorm here. While I would like Crushing Despair, it does take a spell, so... first we go with Firestorm. Now, we need to make our way back over to here to deal with the demon army. So, we'll go from there, and give me a minute, I need to check up on something, and I will be right back with you shortly. See you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Apologies for the long delay. I had to help just partially with groceries. Okay, let's move over here. There we go. Alright, we thankfully got a little bit more movement, so we can easily go to this demon army. So let's take a moment to save. And yeah. Let's deal with the demon armies. This is going to be a lot easier, so we should be able to purge these guys quite easily. It's just a matter of dealing with them, really. That's all it comes down to. My hope is that eventually we can change the armies to be, well, my hope is simply that we change the armies at some point, but hey, we're doing our absolute best here. Okay, we're gonna deal with the Vavakia first, being the biggest and deadliest. We shall follow up by dealing with the Oxmosi, then the Terry Demodand. Skeleton comes in. Alright, we're gonna hold off on them. Oh, there you go. Oh, they're going in. But it's not enough. The summons are gonna die. Well, the summons aren't able to support themselves because the casters are dead. But we do get a victory. We get more units, slowly but surely. And we're ultimately just going to keep growing this army into an absurd level. The cultists set their camp around the Black Tar Swamp. Choking on poisonous vapors without sleep or rest, the mortals keep scooping up buckets of underground oil. An alchemical ingredient that could blaze with blinding flames. Exhausted to the limit, they were unable to fight, and their wardens couldn't fend off the crusaders either. As they were leaving the deadly swamp, the soldiers took everything of value the cultists have amassed. We get material points 500. And that is as far as the advanced squadron can go. Defense squadron's fine. We still need to work up recruitment, so there's that, but one thing at a time. Now, the defense squadron can go back to its position. Well, it can go to the position here, so it's going to be stronger. Advanced Squadron 2 will not be able to make any significant movements until its armies have been increased, of course. So time will tell whether that will be good or not, but hey. Time will tell, time will tell. Alright, with that though, that is the units having decided on where we need to go. And all we need to do now is just get our unit over here, over to the next area. Oh, armies have been started to move. Let us go back to the crusade and let's begin. Alright, we've got two armies that are seeking to approach. Okay, so we got one here. It's probably going to hit the fort here. But that's fine. Okay, the Fate Stealer Mask, that's fine. Okay, well, let's go to the campaign, obviously. Defense Squadron 1 is here, so we need to move that over to here. Yeah, it's going to take some time either way for our armies to collide with them, so we'll make our effort to push back here. Alright, Defense Squadron 2 is already in position. Advanced Squadron 2 is there, so that's going to have to wait. The Advanced Squadron is going to start making its way forward, I guess. So we're going to save here. And we'll see how things fare. Alright, off we go. To the fight. Let us bring violence. Oh. Ow. Ow. Okay, I think we can get a channel negative energy here. Yeah, let's do 2, just to be safe. We are going to destroy the cultist group here, or at the very least significantly reduce their numbers. Our skeletons are going to deal with them, and our zombies will deal with them. Alright, we are going to blow back the cultists here. There we go. We need to deal with the 684 by... Okay, we are going to attack this group here. And the zombies, they cannot get there, so instead we'll just use a Scorching Ray, which should kill all the cultists there. Done. We get back our archers. 18 is slowly getting its push over to 19, and we should be getting really strong. An amulet of natural armor +6, not bad. With a mighty blow, one of the crusaders slashed through the dragon's dull and worn scales. Along with stinky guts, the dented armor of a knight spilled from the beast's belly. Overcoming its disgust, the soldier examined the remains of the unlucky dragon slayer, and found an interesting relic. Okay, we've got another army here, and it's got some serious resources, I must say, so we're going to save here, and when we get the chance, we are going to engage. Alright, let's begin. Okay, so looking at it right now, there is some that were summoned, but mainly it's just one that was summoned. Anything else is pretty subpar. Okay, so the axe throwers need to go first. They're going to be a problem no matter what we do. Alright. Now, we can either go for a firestorm, which will slaughter a lot of enemies, which actually would slaughter most, if not all of them here. Or we go for the fireball, which I'm more partial to currently. Yeah, let's do the fireball here. There we go. And we shall follow up with... I guess we could do thunder here. Might as well, right? No, let's do channeling of energy. There we go. Okay, we are going to want to set up here and here. Alright, we are going to fire our archer attacks here. Then we get the skeleton to get rid of the swarm, and we're good. Done. That works for me. The victory happens, we get our resources, and we're good to go. Haha. The sounds of battle ring over the suburbs of Iz. An army of demons came out and meet the commander's military force, with the clear intention of preventing the latter from entering the city. Perhaps the fate of the crusade is being decided there right now. Alright, we are now at level 19, and we get some nice little stuff here. Okay, we have 5 choices. We can either go Master of Maneuvers, we can go Extensive Infirmary, Outflank, Deep Defensive Order, or Salvage. I think out of everything, what we do normally is Outflank anyways. So we prefer flanking more than anything. So what does that entail? So basically we need 3 people to constantly be around a person, so that's annoying. We're going to go with Master of Maneuver instead. That will give us 5 units to work with instead of 4, so... Yeah, so we're going to have 5 units that we can militarize in her squadron, which is going to help immensely, I figure. We can't go any further than this, however, so... We are going to need to wait for the 5-day mark for the army territories to begin. But hey, we're doing our best. That said, I could probably move and give the Advanced Squadron 2 a chance to shine. So yeah, we're going to make our methods, we're going to trap, well, we still got 2 hours here, huh? We still got 2 days on Power of Gold as well, so maybe I'll focus on Power of Gold and just waste its energy and get Agaboya to level 20. That might be worth it. Defense Squadron 2 remains. Advanced Squadron is actually going to make their way over, I guess. We are going to swap you guys, swap your guys' military force here. Yeah, let's swap your forces a little bit. Okay. Okay. There we go. And now, if we take out what we want here, we should be fine. And honestly, we could probably recruit the Hell Knights here. Yeah, why not? Okay, so it's not that amazing, but it's still a squadron that's really powerful here, so we're going to have the Advanced Squadron 2 get some experience. We're going to have him take out demon armies with this army here. And we're definitely going to be focusing heavily on the fighting aspect here. This will be interesting, that's for sure. But I digress. The undead supply still needs to get across, so let us merge our units. We need to advance, set you guys up here. There we go. The army force is now at level 11, and the Advanced Squadron, honestly, let's just have you retreat now at this point. We'll worry about you sorting up later. And honestly, I might just dismiss this unit entirely. We'll reassign the Captain Commander to some other low front. For now, this Advanced Squadron is now going to be Advanced Squadron 1. There we go. That's Defense Squadron 2, Advanced Squadron 2. Yep, alright, cool. Let us close out, and let's actually continue moving. Okay, we're gonna save here. Because I'm quite satisfied with the results, and I don't want to run into any potential dangers. Okay, off we go. 20... Evade. Alright, the armies begin. The fort of Kenabres is besieged by enemy. Perfect. Alright. Let us begin. We're gonna save here, because this might be a dicey battle, but we'll see. Shouldn't be that hard with our defensive units, though. So, let's give it our best, and let us see if we exterminate the enemy. Okay. See, cultists, cutthroats, mages, and whatnot. Okay. We can immediately get rid of the mages, but we need to get rid of the cutthroats soon. Okay, we'll start with the cutthroats because they're the biggest force here, currently. We are gonna hold off. Okay, you're gonna go forward. We can easily take out the cutthroats here if we wish. We are gonna focus down on the mages, because if we get rid of the mages, they'll be fine. Okay, you are gonna be slow to enter, so that's fine. Just whittle you down, your forces. Alright, one enemy at a time. Okay. Alright, we wait. Okay, we are gonna send our forces forward here. There we go. That'll whittle them down even further. Alright, we can either take them out immediately, which I think I'm going to, because that'll give us more time to deal with this foe. Alright, we go flank here. Whoop. Alright, let's whittle them down like crazy. Forces are whittling down. Okay, we can deal more damage from behind right here. Okay, we're gonna move up. Alright, they attack the knights here, that's fine. Alright, let's go up here. There we go. Let us do this so we whittle down their numbers further, so it's not going to be that big a problem. Solid. We will shoot from distance, and we shouldn't need to cast any more spells, to my knowledge, so... Yee. Let's just whittle them down to their end. Pop. Alright, down to 14, of all things, jeez. Alright, well, we shouldn't need to cast spells here, so yeah. This should be a clear. On all sides, they have been surrounded. To that end, victory. Of course, this doesn't mean our victory is assured. We still got a big thing to handle all the same, which is the Sinister Mansion once more. We've got yet another fight to handle. And let's see, what do we got here? We've got Skeleton Creation, solid. Let's see, any other things we need to do? Not really. Yep, we'll leave that alone for now. Okay, let's see. Defense Squadron, you're fine. This Crusader army is going to go to Dresden. Alright, this one, the same. In fact, I might just well unite them. And I guess I could actually unite these guys, couldn't I? There we go. Oh, right, we've got the Advanced Squadron here, don't we? Alright, let's move the newly made Advanced Squadron and let us have them go. And fight the Demon Army. Pursue. Let us take them out. This is, after all, experience that we need, so all the more reason that we prepare and fight against them. No. Okay. We are going to first, let's see, we can increase the infantry's attack, the sharpshooter's attack, or the cavalry attack. We're going to go with the infantry here, because we got 3 types of infantry after all. Okay, we got the skiers. We're going to deal with the 26 here. There we go. We're going to lay down a fireball here with our sorcerer here. There we go. Activate our shields. We're going to hold our turn. Well, I guess block here. Alright, zombies go in. Bop. Pop. Skeletons come in, get the clear. Knights here, go in. There we go, here. Alright, they're going in for the attack. Unfortunately, the archers, or crossbowmen, are plenty enough. Our losses only 13, but we recover them and we get more units, which only builds up the bulk of our army. While the captured demons beg for mercy, they give away extremely valuable information, revealing all the secrets and tricks of the enemy. The officers memorize every word in the coming battles. They will have a chance to test this new knowledge in practice. And for our troubles, we get some nice little buffs. We can either go for the throat, which gives -2, or target unit receives a -2 speed, and gains 25% chance to make critical hits. We can go with Overwhelming Shout, which means all enemies in a 3x3 area must make a Fortitude save, or get stunned. Or, we can go for a Battle Rage. Target units gain a bonus to melee attack, and a -3 penalty to maximum HP. So at the cost of some HP, they'll gain a bonus to attack, which is okay. I think the fun idea would be something to target the enemies. So all enemy units in a 3x3 area must make a Fortitude save, or they get stunned, which I think is better than what we got here. Yeah, let's go Overwhelming Shout. That's going to have a significant boon, I imagine. Okay, we're going to save here. And we continue on, purging the enemy from the forces of evil. Yeah, I think the enemy is starting to regret giving me such a chance to just destroy them. Okay, we got a bunch of elementals. We've got a massive amount of kineticists, which is not good. I think we can get away with an Overwhelming Shout. All enemies within a 3-square burst, centered on a target point. Let's give it a go. Okay, Kenabres got stunned, so that's good. We can now focus on the cultist fighters instead. Yeah, so the stun will get rid of his turn, and it will be stunned for 1 round. We are going to use a magic missile, I think. Yeah, we'll use Fireball here. And just repeatedly use it here. We shall hold our turn. The zombies are going to make an effort to whittle down the air elementals here. Oh, whoops. Alright, we want you move you guys in. Okay, we want you guys to move forward. There we go. Alright, there goes the cultists. Pain. We can use this to minimize the losses to some extent. There we go. Alright, we whittled down the kineticists here. Okay, we activate this. Fireball. Try our best to at least do as much damage as possible here. Although I may actually load at this point. Yeah, you know what? Let's load. Let's prevent ourselves from losing too many units. The kineticist is obviously gotta go, so that's something, but we can target the closer units, I think, and we should be fine. Yeah, these guys have gotta go. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. Okay, you get stunned. We're gonna do air elementals. Alright, there we go. We can target everybody here, actually, so we're gonna do that. There we go. Double fireball on everybody here, excluding the fire elementals, obviously. Okay, they're gonna move up. Okay, so we can go over to here. Let's wait. Because zombies are probably gonna want to take up the front here. There we go. We're gonna hold up. Skeletons are going to move here. Oh, it seems like we can engage, so might as well, right? Pop. Okay, we will activate the shield here. We'll go here. We will hold off. Alright, water elementals are coming in. Let's move in. The zombies come in. Okay, we are gonna send our knights over here to deal with the kineticists. Oh, they're going after him. Alright, who are we targeting? We're targeting... Let's deal with the cultist fighters. Okay, kineticists are gonna try their best to do something about this, but to no avail, most likely. Pop. And we can easily do a magic missile to deal with the kineticists. There we go. We can activate a battle shout, but I don't think that's going to help any. So we just need to increase the power of infantry here. Pop. Earth elementals, not too worried about. Water elementals, very much worried about. Okay, we'll deal with the attack there. There we go. Zombies come in. Okay, we'll attack here. And we can just take them all out here, so that's fine. Alright, our warriors here shall attack here. Start whittling these guys down. And the archers just clear up house, because they're just crazy overpowered. Or at the very least, the crossbowmen, I should say. We got a lot, so yeah. All the land around was strewn with shards of magical crystals. They were brought here in huge quantities so the demon-worshipping spellcasters could draw power from them and summon elementals to serve them. They had no time to finish the last ritual, so a portion of the magic crystals fell into crusader hands. Resources found, material points 100. And for our troubles, we get a set of spells. We could get Cure Wounds, we could get Heroism, or we can get Scorching Ray. I think it's pretty staple to get a Scorching Ray, because it is damage, so there is that. And it's a lot better than relying on Bone Arrow, I must admit, because this is more accurate. And cheap, I think. Yeah, this is just a staple Fire Arcane spell. Although the next best thing is Heroism, I guess. Target gains +1 to saving throws and AC, and DR1 for 3 turns. And a bonus to combat morale. Yeah, no, Scorching Ray is the best option. Cure Wounds is only going to hamper us, so... We shall save here. Move on our way. Defense Squadron 1 is going to counter the demon army here, so it's going to be fine, so we'll save here. Okay, let us go and continue on our venture. Okay. Alright. Before we go into... before we go into Kenabres, we are going to deal with the armies, and we should be good. At that point, we can help Camilla with her antics. And now, violence. Let us begin. Alright, well, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be that hard, honestly. It's just as easy as Scorching Ray. We will hold out for the enemy, but we will let our bandits do the hard labor there. Okay. Move over. And off we go. And we'll let the warriors come in as they go. Okay, we are going to... Alright, in there. There we go. Okay, 183 is better here. Okay. Okay, we'll go here. Done. Alright, we go here. Wow, I'm actually surprised they managed to do that much. Alright, Scorching Ray, finish it off. Done. Oh, nearly, anyways. Alright, 3-6. And the archers will deal with it. Done. Alright, and as a result, we get victory. Alright. Nice. Pretty easy. We managed to clear up the enemy, so that's the important bit. Okay, we've got to merge the other two here. Okay, this army is going to march back here. There we go. We'll let it go, it's on its merry way. This defensive squadron's fine. This one is fine. Advanced squadron begins its assault. Naturally, violence is a must. Alright. We are going to this demon army to start with, then we'll go to this demon army, then to this one, and basically just pave the way through to the end. At the very least, the demons are realizing, oh no, the fight is pushing us so hard. Oh god. Hold on. Let me reload that. Yeah, let me quickly reload that. That was immensely deadly. Oh god. Okay. Alright. Going by army standards, Advanced Squadron 1. Okay, we're gonna set up like this. There we go. We're gonna have you there. We're gonna have you here. And it'll be like that. There we go. Actually, no, let's swap you over. There we go. That'll work. Now we face this demon army. This should work organized-wise, but we'll see. I'm much more confident in this one than I am the last one. Yep, they are forced to hit them, so less army potential lost, obviously. We are going to... well, we've already siphoned time, so there's that. Okay, we are going to increase the infantry's power here. Okay, now we need to reduce... we'll get rid of the Glebrezu here. There we go. We are going to shield up. And while we can't do much with our casters here, we can certainly whittle them down. Ow, okay. That is not good. That means we're going to focus on this guy, I guess. Yeah, we do not want to focus on them. Okay, we'll deal with you. Thankfully, the zombies aren't that bad. So... alright, let's begin. The violence. Okay. Strength damage. Oh, lovely. Actually, let's hold off here. Better to be out of the range than not. Okay, well there goes that group. Great. Okay, let's Scorching Ray here? Scorching Ray doesn't help though. Well, either way, we're gonna lose some units, so no matter what. Let's stun you. Or not, okay. Let's get rid of Nefalshi here then. Alright, let's get rid of one of you. Okay. Yeah, no, magic missile's just a way to go here. Huh. Ow. Ow. Okay, skeletons, keep going. I'm kind of surprised they're taking so much pain, huh? Ooh, that's not good. You know what? Let's load. It's very clear that we can't fight this battle just yet, so we're gonna hold out. We're gonna wait for we're gonna wait on it. We don't clearly have enough power with our current commander, so we're just gonna passively move off to the side. We're better off taking off, well, hold on, let me, we're better off taking off the demon army here, I think. Although that is a lot of Vivisectors, isn't it? I hope it's, something we can handle, though. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, whoops. I completely forgot to unmute. My bad. We basically cleared up the enemy, and we did our best. I apologize for not unmuting myself. I thought I did. The magnificent cliffs have fallen to course and become a lair for the horrifying vivisector swarm. The soldiers have exterminated those heinous creatures and turned their creeds into an impenetrable fortress, with many hideous, unassailable tunnels and secret passages. For our troubles, we get 3 new abilities and the outflank. If we get Mobile Hospital, increases our infirmary size by 7. If we go Special Forces, all special purpose units have a 2 to attack, AC, and damage and saving throws. Or I go with Crushing Charge. All cavalry units in the army gain a +5 to damage. As it stands right now, it seems all infantry is the focus, it seems. So, honestly, all special purpose units. What counts as a special purpose unit? Hold on. Infantry unit, mythic units, spellcasting unit, grand tier unit, armored units. Armored unit, no. Armored units, no. Well, the skeletons are mythic units, at least. Alright, let's see. All cavalry units in the army have 5 bonus to damage. Special forces... You know, I think the best option is Mobile Hospital. Let's increase the recovery rate for our units here. Because this army is dedicated towards a quote-unquote defense, so... Yee. Alright, the next best target is going to be the Demon Army here, which has the Shield of Chastis. Which is going to be interesting. We'll save. Before we go any further, we're actually going... Well, I guess we're going to need to engage the enemy first, so we'll do that. And then we'll handle the building itself. Alright, they tried to do something to no avail. Nope, they tried to do something, again, to no avail. Okay, we've got Shadow Dancers here, interestingly enough. I think we can get away with a stun here. Yeah, let's go with stun here. That gets 2 of them stunned. We will take out the Shadow Dancers that didn't get stunned here. There we go. We will Fireball, targeting most of these guys here. That will give us some tons of damage inflicted upon these guys. Every little bit counts after all. We will hold out. Let's see, these guys are going to move. Alright. We wait. And what are you going to do? You are going to... Okay, so you've actively stunned them. Okay, that's fine. That isn't going to stop us, I don't think. We'll try and stun them to no avail. Okay, the Shadow Dancers will not be able to move, I don't think. So, the next person we focus on is not the Glabrezu, but the Vrolkai. Yep, oh. They have summoned Shadow Dancers, interesting. Gonna hold off. We are gonna block, 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 until they come to us. Okay, there goes our units there. That sucks. Should have killed the Glabrezu. That's my mistake. Oh well. Alright, let's take it easy. Let's take our time doing this. Every little bit matters here. Alright. I guess the easiest way to go forward would be to siphon time. Yeah, let's siphon time. This will increase our speed as well, so that's nice. We shall deal with the Vrolka here. Okay, we will hold our turn here. Armor up, hold our turn. Okay, we then do a spam of fireballs here. Specifically greater fireballs, so we target everybody here, naturally. Alright, we hold our turn until they start approaching. Okay, they're going in. They're going hostile. They're going postal, if you will. Alright. Well, this is the perfect time to have our zombies go forward at this point. Before that, though, we're going to deal with the Count-Whoops, whatever they are. We're then going to press forward. We'll have our units press forward. Okay, there we go. Alright, I guess we go deal with you. Alright, skeletons go in. The archers will purge, not the shadow dancers here, but we'll get rid of the Vabakas here, because you never know. We're going to make an effort to stun the two in the back. There we go. That way we have the chance to deal with them on our own time. Alright, we can now freely fireball them with one more. And now it's just a matter of whittling them down. Okay, there we go. They stand no chance. Oh, what the heck? Wait, what? Eh? Wait, what? What the hell happened? What? What? Huh? What happened? What? You know what? Whatever. Whatever. Alright, I assume something happened. Alright. Zealous student, accept. Let's pursue them. It's clearly not a done fight. We need to go back in there. I do not know what happened there. That was so weird. Okay. Well, they're getting stunned. That's an obvious fact. They're going to get destroyed either way. Yeah, no, that's quite easy. Yeah, done. Well, that's interesting. The Crusaders descended upon the enemy in the middle of an ongoing negotiation. A small gang of demons was haggling fiercely with a group of strange mortals, covered in shadows, for an artifact the latter had brought. In the end, it was the commander's soldiers who gained the treasure, but before letting out his final breath, one of the mortals promised with evil grin that the Onyx Alliance would not forget the insult inflicted. According to him, the powerful trading alliance from the Shadow Plane ran operations across many worlds. For our trouble, we managed to get a +5 tower shield that grants the wielder a +4 competence bonus to AC against touch attacks. So basically, it gives you a +4 to touch AC, which is really nice. Alright, we'll move over to here. This demon army is still present, so we're going to save here. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Alright, well, let's go. Engage. Will I be able to handle it, though? That's the question. Probably not. Okay, let's see. Target unit gets +4. Nope. We want to increase our agility here. Oh, we can actually take them out now. Okay, so... Their Mariliths obviously need to go, but the Glabrezu is also going to be a painful enemy, so we're going to start with him. There we go. We're going to arm up, like so. Alright, let's go here. Alright, let's just help the dude here. Alright, there we go. We can get these skeletons to attack this group there. There we go. Zombies will follow suit. With multiple attacks, no less. Oh, even 3 attacks, no less. Which is interesting. Ow. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, we are gonna get the archers on the Nepalshi here. We are going to Scorching Ray the Marilith here. Get the kill. Alright, this dude is going to back the hell away. We'll hold out. We'll do a fireball here, which will target both these guys. Alright. Tank dude's coming in. Okay, there we go. Ow. The skeletons are going to go deal with the guy, and we're good to go, because all of our enemies are now dealt with. Nice. As a result, we get victory. Perfect. Alright, cool. One of the Nephalshis killed by the Crusaders was clutching a huge blood-stained bag in his arms. Inside, the soldiers discover a lot of weird trinkets. Broken artifacts, relics. Broken artifacts. Relics that have lost their power, and other such oddities. It seems like this demon took joy in collecting broken magical things. Alright, cool. We get another level up in addition to that, so that's nice. Alright. So, Tactician. At the start of battle, a few units can act out a turn. The number of units is equal to the level of the feat. Okay. We're gonna go for Crushing Offense, I think. All units in the army have a +1 to attack per level of this feat. So this just helps us get more accuracy, which means more chances to hit, meaning more damage overall. Tactician, I guess, gives us multiple chances to attack at the beginning. You know what? Tactician seems a bit better. We'll go there. We're going to move over to here. We need to go with Wenadug to go to the Valley of Temples, so yeah. I guess we'll go there. Alright, to the demonic army here. Let us begin. Okay. From here, it's these guys next. Oh, they've managed to hold my units down, which is not fun. Okay. Okay, what we can do is we can fireball here. But first, before we do, we are probably going to want to stun the 2 back here. Or try to. We failed. That's fine. We'll double fireball here, and hope that's enough. Okay, double fireball is going well. Nice. We will shield it up. Honestly, if we load it properly, we should be able to get a route where we actually don't have to worry about it. Oh well. One thing at a time. Let's see if we get lucky with a reload. Let's see. Just barely. Alright, you try and stun. Yep. Okay. Okay, what we can do here is siphon time, I guess. You know what? Let's reload. Let's try and reload to see if we get a success on at least the archers. The skeletons are a boon in of themselves as well, so might as well wait to see if we get lucky. Come on, don't. Ah, well. Can lookout help? I don't think it can. Great, okay. Guess the next best thing is siphon time or bone arrow, huh? Okay, well, I mean, the Galu would get hit by this, wouldn't it? Scorching Ray would equally be a good choice. I don't know, without the armies, I don't think I can handle it, huh? I'm better off using siphoning time, so that way we can apply haste and slow to the enemy. Yeah, let's go with haste at the very least. Get that bonus. E. Okay, well, off we go. Oh, yeah, no, it's mass hold. Okay, hold on. You know what? Let's load out. I have a weird feeling that we're not going to be able to handle it, to be honest, so... We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay, so it's very clear that the enemy's not going to take us lightly there. What can we do to change things up? The biggest issue currently is the archers not being able to act. Honestly, I can tolerate the shield bearers not being able to strike. So yeah, let's go with this in mind. That way the shield bearers take the brunt of whatever goes down here, and we'll see how that fares. Because the shield bearers I can tolerate losing. Yep, they're freezing the archers intentionally. That makes sense. Okay. As long as we have the archers on, I don't really mind. As long as we have the warriors in mind, I don't care. I don't mind. Alright, let's siphon time. Make our lives a bit easier here. Okay, we can deal with the ghouls, the skiers. Let's deal with the Pananji here first. There we go. The zombies will deal with the skiers. Just whittle them down to significant portions. Okay, the skeletons get paralyzed, apparently. Alright, our forces are slowly whittling down, huh? Aren't the skeletons supposed to be immune? No. Okay, so they're not... Aren't... They should have immunities to paralysis. It's so weird. Ghouls be weird, I guess. Oh well. The best I can do for them is just give them a divine shield and just hope that's enough. Oh well. One thing at a time. One thing at a time, indeed. Okay, there we go. Pop. Ow. Okay, there goes half the units there. Thankfully, these zombies are going to be quite tanky. Let's go defensive formation here. This is going to be required for everybody, I feel. Else we're going to lose too many units. Okay. Alright, the force is coming in. Alright, these armies are gonna go nuts, but we can just easily whittle them down with Fireball. Alright. We're going to focus on the skiers here. There we go. Okay, we've whittled them down to a significant sum. We're going to deal with the Galu now, which gets no traction, that's fine. We should deal with the ghouls, though, because they're going to paralyze everybody, so we don't want that. Alright, there goes the casters. Okay, we deal with the Galu here, so that way they don't cause us trouble. Archers are getting hit again, which is not fun. Okay, they're harassing our archers now. Now it's personal. Okay. Well, they're not being left alive, that's for sure. Alright, zombies, we can whittle down... Well, first let's Scorching Ray the skiers, see if we get killed. Yep, there we go. Now we deal with this group, which is going to be whittled down significantly in a matter of seconds. There we go. Oh, they're starting to attack the archers yet again. Okay. Pop. Okay, we are going to sort out here. We're going to attack here. Skeletons are going to go next, most likely. Skeletons are going to go here, and the zombies can go over here. Done. Yep, they're gone. Done. It's not the perfect win, but it gets us everybody. We can always restore our forces anyways. I'm not too miffed if we lose a few forces. In the long term, us clearing this out is going to help more. Anyways. The Crusaders wiped out the coal mine's guards, so hundreds of prisoners finally shambled out from the shafts, barely believing their luck. The soldiers stared at the slaves in horror, seeking to deny them the possibility of escape. The demons have binded the slaves, before driving them into impenetrable darkness of the mine. Alright then. Well, with that, we are left with a few other locations, but nothing too crazy. Yep. All we need to do now is just send our units back over here, because we got another fort. Now, for the Citadel, we will manage. For we have more to address. Alright, for this, we put in the usual. We put in an inn, we put in a supply center, we put in a archery range, and honestly, a spellcaster lodge wouldn't be that bad, but we usually rock a citadel all the same, which increases the time that it takes for it to be raided. So, yeah. One thing at a time. Alright. Army-wise, otherwise, we are perfectly fine. Alright, you can continue on your merry way back to Dresden. And now we finally... enter Kenabres. Because we have bigger fish to fry. It's going to take us a bit to get forward to... Okay, so we don't need to go Neilthome, but we do need to go to Worm's Mansion. It will take us 8 hours to get there and back, but shouldn't be too hard. The demons have long since evacuated this area, so it's just going to take time to get there. More than anything. Okay. Before we do enter, we are going to rest, of course. That is a given. Nope, we are going to rest up. Alright. Time to begin rest.
Why do I have to do all the dirty work at the camp? We have...
Alright. Let us begin the venture into Worm's mansion. It is time to resolve something. Whatever it is, really. Alright. Lady Camilla, welcome home. We have been expecting you. Camilla looks at the servant for a few moments, bemused. You have been expecting me? Indeed, my lady. Lord Gwyrm ordered that you be sent to him as soon as you arrived. The commander is permitted to follow you, but I must ask your other companions to wait here. Refreshments will be served. Camilla, what's going on here? How curious. Horgus is here and waiting for me? But how did he know? Forgive me for being unable to answer your question, my lady, but those were the precise instructions I received from Lord Gwyrm this morning. Camilla, do you know this man? I have never set eyes on him before. I took up my position here relatively recently. I was hired specifically to serve Lord Gwyrm and his mansion in Kenabres. Why can't my companions come too? Lord Gwyrm was most specific in his request. I'm afraid I cannot speak for his reasons. I can only assume that the conversation will be most delicate of nature. Please, my friend, let's go acquitize to Horgus's request. I don't wish to make a scene before I fully understand what's going on here. God, my throat is having some trouble. I see you managed to fully repair the mansion after the demonic invasion. Indeed, we have. Fortunately, the mansion was almost unharmed. Many items survived the attack, and Lord Gwyrm was able to find comparable replacements for those that didn't. Fine. So where should we look for Horgus? Lord Gwyrm must be somewhere upstairs. He bid me say that Lady Camilla will have no trouble finding him. Please, do come in. Camilla strokes her chin pensively. I was not expecting this. I thought the mansion would be empty, picked to the bone by marauders. If it were standing at all. But seeing it fully restored and inhabited? Camilla narrows her eyes at you. Well, it would be extremely impolite to keep a host waiting, wouldn't it, my friend? Let's go and have a chat with Daddy Dearest. Alright. But it is still 4 people, so whatever. It seems rather clean in the area. Okay, so far nothing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. Nothing too crazy, just, yeah. If you look around, you start to see a set story. And if you've reached this point, you'll probably understand, oh god, things are pretty crazy. Then again, everything we've done in the Abyss is really crazy, so... Okay. Otherwise, there doesn't appear to be anything too crazy in here. Alright, we open this.
You follow.
Ah, this is the room of my first mentor. Take a look around if you want to. I'm sure you could find many of the curious tools and devices she used during our lesson. Camilla runs her fingers over bundled whips and floggers, packed neatly into a drawer, touching each of them with care. I remember them all. This one made thin wounds on the skin like a razor blade, while that one shreds skin to pieces. As for that one, the black one, it doesn't leave any marks on the skin at all, but deals so much pain, your head spins. Why was your mentor so cruel to you? I don't know. Perhaps she was once trained in the same way. Or perhaps she simply hated me. Besides, in her eyes I was not the daughter of a noble family, but merely some urchin that the Honorable Horgus Worm decided to take in off the street. Why did Horgus allow the Varisian woman to treat you like that? Camilla shrugs. She moved into this house a few years after my mother's death. Horgus often had to go to Kenabres on business, so he gave me into the care of that old shaman, hoping that she would teach me to keep the spirits on a short leash. That old hag must have known what she was doing was illegal. She was very good at hiding the evidence of her teaching. She always made sure to heal my scars by the time my father came back. Anyways, the Varisian didn't even last 3 months here. Oh, how she wheezed when I plunged my stiletto into her throat. And her eyes. Shocked and terrified in equal measure. The old crone never suspected a 6-year-old girl could be capable of such a thing. Why is Horgus still keeping all of these things around? Because I asked him to. I want to remember the pain. Both the pain the Varisian dealt to me and the pain I paid back to her. The hatred I felt towards her in me lives in me and to this day. Every time I enter this room, my hands start to tremble, and my heart pounds as if it were trying to jump out my chest. Camilla licks her parched lips. That burning hatred is my most vivid childhood memory. Let's go. Alright, well. Interesting, but okay. Okay, there is the garden now. We can check out, I guess. What's going on here? Huh. Ah, camellias. I see they never stop blooming. She smirks. On my father's order, the garden must have camellias to bloom all year long. Whatever the season, whatever the weather. Why does he even bother, do you think? Horgus Horgus loves you. These are camellias, after all. Camilla scoffs and bursts out laughing. You certainly know how to lighten the mood, my friend. Horgus and love? These two words do not belong in the same sentence. This is the grave of my mother, Iris. She died when I was a child, so I scarcely remember her. I don't understand. Why would Horgus tend to the grave all these years? And why would he plant camellias over it? My father had never shown any tendency towards sentimentality. Camilla turns away. I hate these flowers. Alright, well, suit yourself, I guess. To each their own. Okay, I don't see anything so far. Okay, nothing so far. Cool. And to the first floor.
Move out.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else here. There's the basement, though, we can check out. And we've been given express permission to actually go in there, which has loot, interestingly enough. Alright. We've got some interesting boots. Boots of the Freest Rain. Gives 10 to base speed and a constant freedom of movement. That's going to be nice to have, I'm not going to lie. As the saying goes, every family has a skeleton in its closet. In my case, all the skeletons are hidden in a cellar. Camilla smiles fleetingly at her own joke. This place holds sentimental significance to me, because this is where I killed those thugs who tried to rob Horgus Mansion. They were caught by the guards and I sacrificed them to Miera. This is where they are buried. So how many skeletons are buried in this cellar? Oh, not many, as you may have assumed. Just 2. not counting the Varisian. Camilla's gaze wanders without stopping on anything in particular. It seems she's still remembering, reliving all the sacrifices she made here. I still find it hard to believe that Horgus allowed you to kill people just like that. I think he had no choice. He cannot cure me of the spirit's influence, no matter how hard he tried. Nor could he hand me over to the authorities of Kenabres, because then I would have certainly declared myself to be his illegitimate daughter, and revealed all his secrets to the world. That would have stained the glorious name of Horgus Gwyrm, that my papa values even more than his own life. I suppose he could have killed me, and buried me right here in the cellar. She shrugs hesitantly. I have no idea why he didn't think to do it, while I was a little girl and he could overpower me. Nevertheless, I can assure you that all my victims buried here were hardened criminals and thugs. No one shed a tear when they never returned from Gwyrm Mansion that night. Let's go. Alright, let's go see what else is going on.
To the first floor.
And to the second floor. Here we go. Okay, nothing there.
You follow.
What about here? We can pick the lock here, so let's... Well, actually, let's save for a sec. Before we jump to that. Alright, let's try and pick the door with expert lockpicks.
I hope you appreciate this.
There we go.
Attention.
Welcome to my room, my friend. With an indescribable smile, Camilla looks around. I was about to apologize for the mess, but it appears the servants were ordered to clean this room. Well, do you have anything to say about the place where I spent my formative years? There are bars on the windows. Camilla turns to the windows and looks at them closely, as if seeing them for the first time. Then she shrugs. They were always there. I moved to this room immediately after my mother died, and this is where I stayed, leaving it only on rare occasions. I suppose my darling papa was afraid that I would slip out, without him knowing. A foolish man. If I had ever really wanted to escape, no bars on the windows could have helped me. This room looks a bit too big for a child. You know, I never thought about it. This bed was mine from the very beginning, as well as the countless dresses in the closet, and the bouquets of flowers on the windowsill, and the sumptuous meals the servants used to bring me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and any time I wanted in between. I suppose the servants must have been whispering about me in the dark corners, trying to understand why this strange girl was living here in the lap of luxury. Although I never cared much about their gossip. Besides, Holgus changed servants as often as he changed his gloves, so none of the staff were ever here for very long. There are many books here. I've always loved reading. Books opened an entire new worlds for me. I could visit them I could visit them all without ever leaving my chair. That's a hefty-looking lock on the door. Only Horgus himself and the mansion head guard has a key for this lock. Even his servants had to call one of them to open the door so they could bring me my lunch. Sometimes I was allowed to leave the room, to take a stroll in the garden, or to attend a fencing class with a specifically hired teacher. Sometimes Horgus even took me out into the city, when there were festivities or a trade caravan had arrived from faraway lands. But every time he did, he made me promise that I would keep within 10 paces of him at all times. A promise. Pfft. As if this could ever stop me. Yeah, true. Well, it's time for us to go. Let's not keep Horgus waiting. We get something here, secret. Hello. We get ourselves a nice little amulet called Voracious Spirits. Whenever the wearer of this amulet lands a killing blow, she gains one of the following stacking bonuses that last until the next rest. So, if you kill a person, you get 10 temporary HP to a maximum of 50. You get a bonus to AC, a bonus to Fortitude saves to a maximum of 5, and a bonus to Will saves to a maximum of 5. That is an insane amulet. Holy, that's actually a very good tank item, even.
Onwards.
I might just give that to our tank. Just on the principle alone that it's just powerful. But hey, worth considering, I suppose. Okay, what else is there? Okay, there is this room here. Okay, there's nothing in here. Okay, we go into here then. I'm going to save for this particular circumstance, because we kind of need to. We are sure to find Horgus in his secret study.
Camilla licks her parched lips.
Before we enter, I should like to ask you one question, if you don't mind. You know our family's history better than anyone else in the world. Tell me, what do you think of Horgus as a father? Whether or not he's a terrible father, you certainly are a terrible daughter. What an unfounded accusation! Or perhaps an astonishingly ill-advised joke. Camilla cocks an eyebrow. I have always obeyed Horgus in all things. I have been the perfect daughter. Never mind, though. The time has come to have a little heart-to-heart with my dear papa. Oh, I meant it as a compliment, not an insult. Well, hello, father.
August raises his head and stares vacantly at his daughter for several moments. Then he nods and drains the goblet before him in a single huge gulp. You can smell the sour reek of stale alcohol in the air. Hello, Camilla. So you finally came. And you even dragged this commander along. I suspected that you wouldn't come here alone. You know, I've been wondering when you would finally show your face here. Haven't I always taught you that it is extremely impolite to be late for an appointment? Camilla wrinkles her nose in disgust. Papa, you stink. I believe you will forgive me this weakness, under the circumstances, and if you don't, you can always leave. I won't stop you. The door is right over there. August chuckles bitterly and refills his goblet. August, you were expecting us. This isn't a chance meeting. It was not you I was expecting, although I think you might put in an appearance. No, I was waiting for Camilla. Some time ago, I received a letter from my beloved daughter, in which she invited me to meet her here in my mansion in Kenabres. I came as quickly as I could. I've been here for several days now, waiting for my dearest daughter to arrive. August frowns at you, examining your face. Don't tell me you knew nothing about this meeting. Could it be that my sweet daughter has you wrapped around her little finger? That she tricked you into coming here to watch this spectacle unfold? The little minx. He gesticulates wildly, spilling half the contents of his goblet on the floor. What did you do after I left for the Abyss? I left Dresden as soon as the Queen took hold of the reins of the government, of course. I highly respect our dear Godfrey, but it was you I had followed into the crusade, not her. For whatever reason, I do not believe our Queen will succeed in her attempts to defeat the wound. So I moved to Nerosian while my mansion in Kenabres was under renovation. August turns his eyes on Camilla and shrugs. But none of that matters anymore, does it? I came here to help Camilla. Well, Camilla, what's going on here? She remains silent. You can see her face, but you hear her breathing, shallow and fast. Her shoulders are rising and falling jerkily, and her right hand is trembling. Camilla, explain. Camilla jolts slightly and turns to you. Her eyes seem to look right through you. Her lips are parted and have her rasping breasts remind you of an animal's growl. Her right hand is clutching a thin stiletto that seems to have come out of nowhere. Isn't it obvious? Olga stands up heavily from the table and approaches his daughter, stumbling a little. She has finally come to take my life. I've been waiting for this moment since the day it all began. I knew it would come. Of course, I had hoped that Camilla would placate her spirit somehow. Or perhaps the commander would close the wound and put an end to all the sacrifices. It's too late for that now, I suppose. I'm ready to die. My whole life is a lie. It does not even feel like mine, but someone else's. I did everything I could to ensure the name of August Worm would go down in history, and his bloodline live on. I had to lie, and cover up crimes along the way. Well, the time has come to pay the piper. And if my death helps you uncover the secret of closing the world wound, well, it's not the worst way to go. August gulps. But before you do what you came here to do, Camilla, let me reveal my final secret to you. Camilla's voice sounds alien and unfamiliar. It is hoarse and low like a gravel crunching underfoot. Hark. Your mother, Iris, was genuinely loved you, Camilla. But after she saw how you killed that pup in the garden, she started to worry about you. It was she who insisted on the doctors and the psychics and the exorcists. They all examined you, but nothing helped. You kept on killing animals, neighboring cats, stray dogs. You told us stories about the spirits who whispered in your ear. Iris didn't believe you really had a special ability to communicate with the spirits. She didn't even think you were gifted, but I did. As if a daughter of August Worm could be no more than a lunatic. Several years passed like that. Several very grueling years. For Iris more than myself. And then, one night, August swallowed the lump in his throat. I entered your room and saw Iris leaning over your bed, with a pillow in her hands. I pushed her away from you. It was dark. Iris stumbled, and she hid her head on the corner of the cabinet. I buried her in the garden, and planted a flower bed of camellias over her grave. I thank the gods that you remembered nothing of that horrible night. Now you know everything, Camilla. Did you keep... I'm surprised that you managed to keep such secrets for all these years, Torgus. There were days when I dreamed of my lies coming to light, of finally being able to come clean, but then I remember Camilla. The bloodline of August Worm cannot be broken. You killed my mother? And you decided to tell me that now? Camilla's whisper sounds like a hissing of a venomous snake. Why? To unburden your soul? To show me how you protected me back then? Maybe you're hoping I'll hesitate before I stab you in your disgusting heart? Or are you trying to make me weep for my mother, the innocent victim? Well, I don't give a damn about her. She wanted me dead, and she failed. Good riddance, I say. And I don't give a damn about you either, August Worm. I don't care about your bloodline or about any excuses you can come up with. Do you really think that I couldn't have escaped your mansion if I wanted to? You never acknowledged me as your daughter. There's no skin off my nose. You wanted to marry a noblewoman to continue the worm line. Well, that was your own affair. You provided for me, and didn't try to stop me communing with the spirits. I never wanted anything more from you. But now I don't need you anymore. I have Skeletor, who will protect me and hide me from justice as it comes to me. As for you, you are just garbage left over from my former life. And it is time to dispose of you. The stiletto trembles in Camilla's hand. She grips the handle so tight her knuckles turn white. Kill him, Camilla. He deserves it. The stiletto freezes in front of August Worm's heart. Camilla licks her parched lips. A secret for a secret, Horgus. I have dreamed of doing this for a long time. I've dreamed of this without even realizing it was my heart's desire. You were always so near, my protector and patron. How could I even entertain the thought of killing you? But the forbidden fruit is so much sweeter. The stiletto softly pierces Horgus Worm's chest. He flinches. An involuntary moan bursts from his lips. His foul breath hits Camilla's face, but she doesn't even wince. Her eyes drink in every grimace of pain on her father's face. Can you feel that? Just one little stab and your life starts to bleed out. My stiletto has pierced your heart. Now it withers, impaled like a butterfly on a pin. If I drag the stiletto out now, you'll die quickly, but if I keep it in, you'll suffer longer. Perhaps even choke on your own blood. So which should I choose, The stiletto plunges into the Horgus' chest, right up to the handle. He coughs, blood bubbling on his lips. With the last vestiges of his strength, he stands before Camilla and looks her straight in the eye. Don't you have anything else to say? Or do you think you can maintain some dignity, even at the very end? Do you think you have it in you? She rips the stiletto out of Horgus' chest, only to stab him again. You are garbage. Get out of my life. The stiletto plunges into Horgus again and again and again, until his chest begins to look like a bloody mess. Die. Die once and for all, Horgus Worm. It is all over now. I've rid myself of the past. I suppose I should feel happy? Why then do I feel so tired? Camilla gets to her feet and smooths her tousled hair. It was all over too quickly. Don't you agree, my friend? As if something was missing. It's like having intercourse without going to the end. The end result is naught but exhaustion. Perhaps it was because Horgus did not try to resist. Camilla taps her chin with her finger pensively. Anyways, it doesn't matter now. Let's have some more fun, shall we? Why didn't you tell me that Horgus would be waiting for us in Kenabres? Camilla shrugs, a trifle confused. I just didn't. Perhaps I want to surprise you, or perhaps I was worried that you'd try to talk me out of it. Did Mia really crave Horgus' blood, or is it you who wanted it? Camilla's gaze sharpens for a moment, but she quickly relaxes. Yes, and yes. Mia and I are one. Her desires are my desires. We have become quite inseparable at this point. So are you ready to talk to Mira now? No, not quite yet. But don't worry. I shall be ready soon. Just one last step. One final drop. What did you have in mind? Horgus did bring me some small amount of pleasure, of course, but it was clearly not enough. Camilla's voice drops to a conspiratorial whisper. I want to make up for lost time. To let loose like never before. To celebrate my ultimate liberation. There are an awful lot of servants in the mansion. Let's gather them all in a garden and feed Mier with their blood together, you and I. What do you say? I've never done this with another person before. Until now, you've only been an observer, and I want my first time to be with you, my friend. I like your idea. Gather the servants. Camilla grants you a happy smile. This will be unforgettable. Please come here. I have an important announcement for all of you. For all
All from Lord Gwyrm. You're all fired. They're not pleased, but don't worry. You will find work elsewhere. In hell, probably. Oh, don't worry. Lord Gwyrm has tasked me with ensuring that everyone is paid in full. No one will leave empty-handed.
None shall escape!
Alright. Well, I guess a fireball would be enough, I guess.
I'll cut you wide open.
Okay. Alright, everybody is going nuts. Well, there we go.
I suppose we are done here. We certainly had a good time, didn't we? Did you like it, my friend? It was a little different from my usual sacrifices to Maria, but mass murder does have its own appeal. It's wild, primordial, unbridled. You felt it too, didn't you? The exhilaration.
With a satisfied smile, Camilla looks around.
You know, I suppose you deserve a confession. I have never said anything like this to anyone before. Are you ready? Steel yourself.
Giving you no time to answer, she stretches her limbs contentedly.
You are the best friend I could ever hope to have. You understand me. You help me. You are the best thing that has happened to me in my entire life.
You are really special to me too, Camellia.
You know, now that we're so close, I wish to confess something else to you. Are you ready?
She smiles teasingly.
There is no Maria. I made her up.
Camilla takes the amulet from around her neck, stares into the eyes of the bone snake for a while, and then turns her gaze to you. Or Skeletor, in this case. But why?
Isn't it obvious? To have a reasonable explanation for all the murders. So that my protector would be too busy thinking of our bright future to lecture me on morality and decency. I like to kill. I don't simply want it. I need it. It is something deep within me. My desire is like an annoying fly buzzing around a room. One that cannot be seen or swatted away. But the deaths of enemies on the battlefield don't bring me any relief. It comes only with the deaths of those who considered me a friend. The deaths must be unexpected, so that I can see the disbelief and dread in my victims' eyes. But I am a clever girl. I know that society would never condone my unconventional desires. So I invented a nice story that I could feed to those who would protect me from society. As you may have noticed, my lie has worked remarkably well.
I suspected that you were lying to me.
Did you? You hid your true thoughts from me very well. You are an excellent liar. Perhaps even better than I am. My sincerest congratulations.
So when you asked me to come here today, so you could talk to me, Arya, that was a lie.
Of course it was. After you and I visited the brothel in Alishanira, I felt an unexpected and overwhelming desire to see my dear sweet papa. So as soon as we returned to Dresden, I made some inquiries and learned that he had moved to Nerosian. I sent him a letter inviting him to meet me at his mansion in Kenabres, and that's when I asked you to accompany me. I decided it would be best not to disclose the true purpose of our visit to you. If you had known that Horgus would be waiting for us here, you might have discerned my intentions.
Why have you decided to tell me all this now?
Ah, that's a good question. You would have learned the truth sooner or later, you know. I've told you too many stories about Maria. You never would have let the matter lie. Of course, I could have left. Fled in the dead of night, leaving you a farewell note. But I like traveling with you, my friend. I like feeling the power you've shared with me. That is why I decided to take the risk and open up to you.
Where do you draw your power from, then?
I draw it from the spirits, just like all shamans do. Spirits surround us. They are everywhere, even within the world wound. Only they never beg me to save them or try to tell me how to heal Socorus.
Camilla shrugs as she says this.
To be honest, I couldn't care less about Socorus, the world wound, or the crusade. My sphere of interest lies elsewhere.
What is your story behind the amulet?
This? Once a snake crawled into our garden. I killed it, gutted it, dried out its bones, and then I told Horgus about Maria and asked him to decorate the amulet with gold and make it into a necklace.
Camilla fiddles with the boned snake in her hand.
Despite its mundane origins, it is now imbued with magic that hides me from the prying eyes of Iomede's paladins and inquisitors. Daddy Dearest was quite insistent on that point. Clearly, he feared that if I were ever caught, I would reveal all the dirty secrets of the Gwyrms to the world. But now that I'm with you, I have no need of this amulet anymore, do I? No one would dare lay a finger on a companion of the Crusade Commander.
That is true. I've heard enough.
Is the interrogation over? Good. I was beginning to feel rather bored. So, what is your verdict, my friend?
I accept you as you are, because that's what friends do.
Thank you for hearing me out, for understanding and accepting me. I must confess, I was a little worried about how this conversation would go. I have no more secrets from you, I promise. Provided, of course, that you can still believe my promises.
Camilla's lips form a slight smile. And that is the quote-unquote happy ending. Well, it's a thing. It is certainly an interesting thing. But ultimately, hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles. But that is the quest done. We can now unite with everybody else and get going. We're immediately going to the second floor here. So, make an effort to go to Horgus Gwyrm. See if he had anything on the guy. Because I do believe he would have some loot on him.
Head on.
At the very least, I think. Yeah, he does. On him is the helmet of Alluring Charisma. We got leather armor, some potions. Oh. Horgus's will. A neatly folded sheet of paper and printing with several seals. Inside is a short note written in bold and clear hands. I bequeath all my property to Camilla and acknowledge her as my daughter, Horgus Gwyrm. And we get the Translucent Needle of Astonishment. Whenever the wearer of this +5 Evil Outsider Bane Rapier lands a first hit on a new enemy, the enemy must pass a will save or become paralyzed for 2 rounds. On a successful save, the enemy becomes staggered for 1 round instead. I don't think I need to say, but that weapon is really powerful, and might even be worth wielding on one of the characters. Unfortunately, though, that's just, none of us use a rapier, so it's not that amazing. It's good for dealing with demons, though. I'll give it that. Alright, but without further ado, let's just get back and get going. Alright, to the area exit, and now we've got to dip.
And that is Camilla's stuff done. I do believe now that we're getting really close to the end of what we're supposed to do. We need to go 7 hours through here. Next. Alright, the crusade is probably going to continue on its own for here. Yeah, it's going to progress to 1. Okay, so it's gone a day. I guess we'll see the chaos that is going outside now. Alright, we're going to enter the northern gates and let's dip out into the world again. Alright. Let us see. Okay, we got armies there. Alright, let's see. Alright, we've got some decrees. The fate of the Cursed Bard. Okay, developments. Okay, economy, yep, army. Alright, how about the campaign itself? The armies are doing fine on their own, so we don't need to move them anytime soon. Alright, let's close out. Let's teleport back. Okay, we can either well, we're gonna need to teleport to Dresden, but let's see, what can we do here? We got the Heart of Mystery, we've got the Legacy of Ancients, that's puzzles. Core of the Riddles, another puzzle. We need to get to the... We need to get to Bone Hills, which requires us to go to the Cave Citadel, I do believe, specifically. We also need to... Oh, no, wait, we need to go to Bladesmith the Workshop. Okay, so... We need to go to the lands of Yath Watch, specifically. I do believe. That way we can bring Wenadug over as well. If we could, I'd like to upgrade this and put in a teleportation circle, because this would be a prime place to actually place it. For now, though, let's teleport here. We're going to teleport to the... Yeah, let's teleport to Dresden. Let's drop off Camilla, so that way we can swap in Wenadug, because she is going to need to be involved in this. Alright, come on, Wenadug. You're coming with us. Okay, Wenadug there. Alright, Wenadug, you're going to need a ranged weapon for now. So we are going to get you something ranged. You can use this +3 composite longbow for now. We can level you up to 10, so we might as well, right? There we go. Hammer the gap. We will... Let's see. Yeah, we're just going to hammer the gap, which for each consecutive hits deals extra damage. That's nice, but not required. Snapshot, no. Advanced weapon training. Let's see. Could do fighter tactics, which would arguably get us... Yeah, no, we don't need that. Critical focus would be nice. That'll give us a bonus to critting, so that'll be nice. We get a bit of mythic power that we can abuse. Improve critical. We can go improve critical longbow. Might as well, right? Okay, we get another ability. We are going to go with... Okay, no... What else? Cleaving shot. Every time you deal critical damage with your ranged weapon attack, it reduces the target to 0. You deal your weapon damage to all other enemies in a 20-foot or 10-foot radius. There you go. Okay, we don't need rapid shot. We can use point blank master. We can get point words. We can get point blank shot and get a bonus there. Or we can get a weapon specialization, which I might as well just do. That'll increase our damage with basic attacks. Alright. We now need to make our way to the bladesmith shop. So, yeah. Okay, our goal is going to be to... We're going to take this path, so that way we can go to the Valley of Temples here. It's going to be a long journey, but it needs to be done. Okay. Oh, the Ziggurat has been upgraded, so we will address that in a moment after we've dealt with this situation here. Okay, we are going to save here. Alright. First armies. Let's address those. Okay, this army is going to continue back over. We're going to move them all the way over here. This army is going to remain. We've got some upgrades or notices here. Baphomet's fire is done. Alright, we've got to decide. Are we going to let a druid do it, or are we going to let the medium do it? We're going to go with the treacherous flame, I think. Whenever the wearer of these gloves plans a sneak attack against an enemy, which is probably going to be often, the enemy becomes vulnerable to fire for 1 round, and suffers additional 2d6 fire damage. In addition, whenever the enemy who has been hit by the wearer at least once takes fire damage from any source, it suffers a -3 to saves for 2 rounds. We're going with the medium here, which is going to immediately just cause additional sneak attack. Well, it's basically a fire-based sneak attack damage. The wandering medium heard the spirit of Carius, ever burning in Baphomet's fire, tortured by the flame. The priest became disillusioned with the master and yearned for revenge. The medium awakened the burnt priest's voice, and now Carius's guide will serve the new owner of the relic. Okay. We can upgrade some stuff here. Okay. We are going to aim for a bastion upgrade, I think. Yeah, we need an outpost to bastion expansion, so we're going to make multiple of those, I think. We can get a commander parade, which we don't need right now. No to the refugee employment. Relics. Let's see. Let us go with the fate of the Fate Stealer's Mask. I'm curious what that will yield us. Alright. Other than that, we should be good. We will close that, and we will be back to the area once we are done. Okay, we will save here. But we do need to make it to the Valley of Temples first, so... Actually, hold on. Before we actually go, we need to go to Advanced Squadron here. So that way we can help clear out the Demon Army here. Save. And how's the Demon Army here? Fairly self-explanatory. We pursue and clear out the area. If only for levels. Okay, what are you doing? You are going to have a rough time. Okay, we're going to get rid of the Glabrezu first. Okay, we then deal with the Drekni. And now, we do a fireball to end the lives of these guys. There we go. Alright. Hey, pop. And there we go. Clear. The summons do not get their chance to attack, so yeah. Violence and victory, as is natural. One of the prisoners informs the soldiers that the captured fortress was called the Castle of Desires. A cunning Glabrezu temper turned all the mortals that lived here into slaves in exchange for granting their deepest wishes.
Of course, all of his promises turned out to be lies and illusions.
Alright. We then come in colliding on this, and yeah, we clear out them before they become a problem. Alright. Got a lot of units here. The cultist spiders are going to be most annoying, but thankfully we should be fine. We'll just stun these two. Focus on these guys. Alright, fireball it up. Alright, another fireball. And a bonus turn to add yet another fireball. That's fun. That's fun. Okay, we go up. We'll attack this group. We'll go forward. We'll go forward. Alright, there we go. And we'll just do that. There we go. Now, let's see. We can either focus on the cultist fighters or the cultists. We'll focus on the cultists normally. Bop. Okay, now we can opt to help these guys with magic missiles, which honestly sounds fine by me. I guess I'll pop over here. Okay, we go over to here. Now the skeleton should come in quite easily. Yep, there we go. Bop. And the archers will finish off the job, which we managed to clean up quite easily, all things considering, because we have such a diverse group. Having wiped out the cultists, the Crusaders discover many blood-streaked golden idols. The soldiers fire up the camp forge and toss them into the flames. The heat of the forge melts the blasphemous statues down, and the fighters cheer and whistle. Resources found, 3,000 finance. Alright, seems our finances are going even higher because of our antics. And yeah, Iz is going to have a lot easier time as the forces slowly get closer and closer, cleansing everything in our path. They stand no chance against us. That is for sure. Okay, we've got a lot of units here. Okay, we can go for... Okay, hold on. So we got Cultists of the Swarm, we've got a few other things. Let's stun you two, prevent you from moving. We're gonna deal with the Cultists of the Swarm, because I feel like these are casters that are existing. So better to be safe than sorry. Alright, we are gonna huck fireballs. Okay. Take you guys out. We get the zombies over to here to start whittling these guys down. Alright, arm up. We'll go for you. And the skeletons can now move in and deal with the... Hold on, are these guys more dangerous, or... Yeah, let's deal with this group. Bugger it. Oh, they're going after the back line. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Okay, we're going to Scorching Ray. Nah. We're going to destroy this group here. Let's tolerate the fireball here, at least a little bit. It'll take some damage, but it will get the majority done with. We're gonna go back and we're gonna deal with this group here. We'll have the zombie focus. We are going to stun these two. Or try to. As we whittle down this force. We'll have the knights here fight there. There we go. The skeletons are going to deal with the ox guys. There we go. The archers will do the rest. Bop. And I guess while we're at it, we can do the bow and arrow. Nah. We'll just Scorching Ray. Just slowly whittle them down. Okay, we start whittling these guys down. There we go. Back you guys off. And we will move over here. And archers should finish it off. There we go. Done. Took some damage, but it could be worse. Yeah, we suffered some losses, suffered some wins, yeah. We basically lost a few skeletons for our front lines, but it could be way worse. It could be way, way worse. Thankfully, our forces get recovered quite easily. Jaskari's cultists have gathered a big pile of treasures. Gold bars of various metals, vials of ingredients, tools, and supplies. Their actions seem to have no logic at all. They simply hoarded everything of any value to satiate the ultimately insatiable hunger of their lord. Well, I'm not complaining. It just means we get those resources now. Alright. We can use Prayer. All units to the armor gain +1 to attack and damage. All enemies receive a -1. Cause Fear would reduce their morale, which will make them run for fear more often than not. Bull Strength would increase the attack and damage of a single target for 3 rounds. So it's either a +1 and a -1 to enemies, or a +1 plus power divided by 20. So power divided by 20 would be a 1 currently. So not that great. Cause Fear would be power divided by 5, so 24 negative morale, which isn't that great. I like Prayer. Prayer is a nice buff to have. Alright, we are going to get ready for this group then. We shall save for the appropriateness of it. And we will engage in the fight. One near to last battle, I should say. Okay. Okay, Cultist Cutthroats. That's an interesting group. Alright, so we got Cultist Mages, got Cult of the Swarm. We are going to deal with the Mages first. Okay. Let's... Well, I guess we can keep going. It doesn't matter. The point is that we're doing it, right? Although, let me load, actually. Let me see if I can get better luck, or odds of luck, maybe. It would certainly be nice, that's for sure. Alright, let's do this. Okay, we're gonna start with Prayer. There we go. We'll hit you. Okay. Now we do the Fireball antics here. Yeah, so we're gonna hit these guys then. There we go. Alright, 2 fireballs. Bada bing, bada boom. We're gonna hold off. Okay, zombie goes forward. There we go. We are going to move over here, so this guy can't really do much. We are now going to whittle down the cutthroats themselves. There we go. Whittle them down to a non-existent point. Alright, you summoned a Beastie Boy. That's fine. Okay, so what we can do here is we can stun you two. Or try to. Okay, so that's no-go. Cultists of the Swarm is not going to be that bad, honestly, so we'll just deal with you. We are going to then throw down another fireball here to deal with your group here. Okay, we can then start whittling down the cultists here to give the skeletons a good fighting chance here. Okay, we go over here. Pop. We are going to whittle down the cults of the swarm with our zombies. There we go. We will now move over to Volkai here. Try and do some damage, to no avail. There we go. Skeletons shall eviscerate them. Alright, now skeletons just deal with the rest. And we get all of our units, so it's a win-win for us. Alright, cool. A gang of hunters who were scouring the area around the world, grabbing everyone, A gang of hunters was scouring the area around the world, grabbing everyone the hunters met, and dragging them to Iz to feed the swarm of their Lord Discari. They were carrying lots of trophies taken back from their victims. Resources found, material points 750. For our troubles, we get 3 new abilities. We can choose to get Elemental Weapon, which targets the target unit's attacks deals an additional 1d4 times unit number magic damage. I think that's an insane ability, actually. Hold on. The target unit's attack deals an additional 1d4 multiplied by the unit number magic damage. Interesting. Retaliation. All units in a 3x3 area deal power times power plus 5d6 physical damage to the enemy when damaged in melee. Okay, so if they are attacked, they will retaliate with a counterattack, essentially. Precise prediction. Target unit ignores the damage from the next attack. Cannot be used more than 1 time per unit per battle. That would be a great way to tank stuff, but honestly I much prefer Elemental Weapon, because that would really cause some damage, I do feel. So that would deal a lot of damage, so I'm going to keep to that. And I guess we go back to our units so we can deal with the Valley of Temples here. Alright, we've got the Final Veil. Okay. There is someone on the road. Get ready. Let us see what is going on. Okay, before we do meet this person on the road, let us quickly go and have a rest here. Okay. Cheese crostata.
Gives the right to life.
Alright, there we go. It's a bit rainy, but that's fine. We get all of our protections and whatnot done without any issue. So now we will see who is, I guess we'll save first before we move on, but yeah. We'll have to see who's interrupting our travel. It's gonna be an interesting one, I'll give it that. Let's see. Is there anybody? Oh, hello, Ancient Ghost. Oh, so it wasn't even an enemy at all. Okay. The ghost gives you a slight nod, greeting you as you are an old acquaintance. You do not deviate from your goal. Will you answer my question? Ask me a question and I will answer.
My third question is about the great keepers of knowledge and givers of power. I will show you their symbols, and you must tell me their names. A brass tablet appears in a ghost's hands. It is engraved with two symbols. The first is a cogwheel that looks like an eye, and the second resembles a seven-pointed star. A web of interesting lines spreads out from around the symbols. They twist and collide with one another, as if the two symbols are fighting to conquer the entire tablets. You know that these symbols are two ancient gods of magic, Amazen and Visala. They were worshipped in the Aslant Empire before the Earthfall. The two gods were rivals, and Manzen taught that some knowledge should remain hidden, while Lisla's doctrine proclaimed that all knowledge should be shared freely. Both deities have long since been forgotten, and it is likely that they've perished during the Earthfall. These are the symbols of Lisala and Amanzen. These are great givers of power, have been dead since Earthfall. Just like me. The ghost burst out suddenly, but the emotion drains from his voice, and his tone becomes dull and monotonous once more. All it takes is a little knowledge to begin your journey. By answering this question correctly, you have taken another step towards acquiring great knowledge. The final veil is now open to you. Solve its riddle and you can continue forward. The secrets of creation will be revealed to you, to the one most worthy. Do not give up your search. A strange melodious sound fills the air. The ghost seems tired as he buries his masked face in his hands. One question, adventurer. Only one before I disappear. Is there anything I can do to help you? I will remain bound to the heart of mystery until someone solves the secrets. When that happens, I will be given my freedom. Then I can rest in peace. But so far, no one has been able to accomplish such a feat. There are many who have tried, so many. The ghost barely manages to finish his sentence. A sudden burst of magical energy surges through his body, and he disappears with a scream.
Head on!
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that's something. Well, at least it could be a lot worse, I suppose. He's not dead? Well, I guess he is dead. He's a straight-up spirit, after all. So he... Alright. Well, I think we'll leave Finnean's secret for next time, I think. Because I'd like the chance to actually upgrade the castle. Well, I'd like to upgrade the Castle of Desires first before I go to the Bladesmith. And it seems like we've got the puzzles, so... yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking a bit too far ahead. I'm probably going to come back here anyway, so it's not like it's going to go anywhere, so... It's time. To the Valley of Temples we go. It is time to save our warriors. Our violent, dangerous warriors. Alright. Before we go any further, we are going to want to buff up.
No one stands in my way.
This is going to be required because there is a fight here. So, yep, let's get everybody ready. Okay. Alright. Now we get this there, there we go. Alright, align weapon with good. For everybody here. Alright, good align for Bismuth and Skeletal Executioner. Eagle Splendor. Effortless Armor. Barkskin. Now the 5 elemental resistances for everybody. Okay. And there we go. Armor and shield buff. Actually, before we go, do we we do have a better shield now that I think about it. Let's see, Warden of Darkness. +4 Mithril Shower Shield gives the wearer DR 5 good and a -2 penalty to attack rolls against evil characters. It can only be worn by evil aligned creatures. I do believe that if we get our hands on the Shield of Chastis, it is slightly better. It does not have a DR against good, but then again, we don't fight many good aligned creatures, so this will be significantly better, I think. Yep, this will add a +4 to the touch AC, basically. Or at least touch attacks, I should say. So if we get hit by a touch attack, well, there we go. Shields of Chastis is going to help here. Alright, we are still going to activate the shield vestment here, just because we can. Alright, now to protection spells. Off we go. Alright, freedom of movement triggers. Alright, life bubble comes in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. True Seeing Communal. Blessing of Luck and Resolve Mass. Aspect Animal, yep, Frightful Aspect. Winds of Vengeance. Mind Blank. There we go. Now, for you. Alright, let us start with Remove Sickness on the main people. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright. Bismuth gets it, and the Skeletal Executioner. Magic Fang for those who are going in as a animal. Alright. Animal Aspect, Greater Gorilla. Feather Step Mass. Echolocation. Alright, we want to at least do Bismuth. Skeletal Executioner. We also want to do what? We want to do Wenadug, and I guess Skeletor. Animal Growth comes in. Alright, Cat's Grace Mass, Stone Skin, Bull Strength, Owl's Wisdom. Alright, we don't need to activate this for him, but we will give it to Triclops, we will give it to Wenadug, Sea Mantle's next, Frightful Aspects, and finally, we want a... let's go a Black Dragon, because I think we're going to be dealing with Acid today. But first, a Vial. Acid, or the animal now. No, before we do, we need to activate our Light Aura, I think. This will give us a bonus to saving throws and skill checks. Black Dragon now, there we go.
I stand ready.
Okay, we need to down the vial here. Alright, we're gonna get that. Shield. Expeditious Retreat. Alright, Mirror Image. Effortless Armor. There we go. That should do us for now, I think. And now we just gotta transform into our Dragonkind ability.
I am yours.
Shall we move?
To command.
We shall move.
Alright, we're gonna use Mage Armor on everybody who is transforming. Okay, we give it to Beastman because he's not gonna have it. We are also going to give it to Bismuth because he kind of just needs a general. Bind Traps. Delay Poison Communal. Death Ward for everybody. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, heroism now. Okay. 6, 7, and 8. Ice body. Foresight. Alright, there we go. File. There we go. Now Skeletor. Alright. Okay. Now we just get these guys. There we go. There we are. Mirror image. We are going to go with... Well, first let's equip something better on you, I'd say. Yeah, let's find something better for you to wield, Wenadug. Let's see. Delamir's bow. Okay, we can't equip it.
I'm not touching this trash.
Alright, let's see. We've got a composite longbow that's both good light enchantment with +3. Whenever the short bow... Yeah, we focus into longbows with her, so yeah. There's that. Don't got any interesting longbows to my knowledge. We could get Feral Charge, I suppose. But, nah. We don't need it. Okay. Gear-wise, what can we do here? Alright, let's give her this. Let's give her... Oh, the Voracious Spirit, right. What do we have for gear? We've got a +2 to Circumstance to attack and a Circumstance to AC. This is just a straight bonus, and it can be equipped by anybody. This is only beneficial on somebody who's getting killing blows, though. That is something that we've got to keep in mind. I could give this to... This could be a good Trapjaw thing, couldn't it? Because he's always killing things. That said, it could also be applied to Beastman, it could be applied to Triclops, because having more AC on Triclops is just going to make him a deadly assailant. I think Beastman would get the most benefits out of it, though, in general. Yeah. Instead of getting a +2 to AC, he'd gain a +5 overall, and we could give the amulet to somebody else at that point, right? Because either way, they're going to be next to each other in all aspects. At least close enough to actually handle this. I don't know. There's a lot of value, a bunch of factors that we have to take into account, basically. I don't know. Anyways. We'll do our best here to arm her to the best of our abilities. That way she isn't gonna perish immediately anyways. I think we're gonna need to replace the expedition. No, it's fine. Whatever. Alright. Where were we? We were on Greater Magic Weapon, so let's get the enchantments going. Alright. There we go. Protection from arrows. Vampiric spell. Alright. We're gonna give it to those who are gonna go into melee, specifically. Okay. Bismuth. Alright, Thought Sense. Bone Shield. False Grace. We should need False Life here, so I'm just gonna abstain from it for now. Alright, we are going to go with Eyes of Adok here. Alright, Firebrand here. Alright, this is going to help them deal some more damage. Alright, let's activate Fiery Body. We're going to activate Haste, so that way they're significantly faster. Alright, there we go. And finally, finish off with Sense Vitals. And we are going to at least need Merman to be displaced. There we go. I think that should be good enough. Alright. When we truly need the buffs at their fullest capacity, I will address them. But one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Hello, hello. Interesting. My children, the hour of the final communion has come. Accept your fate. Master, you, my creations, will serve for all eternity. Making some really powerful warriors, I suppose. Yes, I can feel its call. Camellia didn't waste time. Now he has mythic power too. I've been preparing for this encounter. I'm ready to face him. This time I won't back down. Good. Let's kill him, Master, and save my tribe. Alright, seems like we got quite the job to do, huh? Oh. Hello. Alright, we got some things to do. We gotta jump over. We will save for this occasion. And let's go save the tribe here. Alright, we can jump over freely. There we go. Alright, it's gonna get a bit laggy, but that's fine. Alright, they stand no chance. Okay, we want to move you forward. There we go. That'll make our job of dealing with you guys easier. Cool. Alright. Alright, we want you to go forward. Alright, activate Bramble Armor because we can. Yeah, they'll stand no chance as Merman just basically goes nuts, slaughtering them all. We're dealing some significant damage within the hundreds for everybody. So yeah, we're laying in work. We're laying in groundwork really quick. Yep. The corrupt mongrels do not stand a chance. Okay, we will go see the treasures here. And yeah, there we go. Alright. Off we go. Let us save our tribe. When Camellia notices, he heaves a sigh of irritation. Oh, the invincible commander and his despicable minions. Congratulations. You made it out of Evolutioneer alive, only to die here. But before you meet your end, you will bear witness to a ritual. It will be my crowning achievement. The culmination of all my long years of hard work. His white eyes turned to Wenadug.
So you're here too, child. Oh, my wayward child, how fortuitous. Your father was once one of my closest servants, but he has recently vacated his position. Take his place, and claim yourself the power, purpose, and care of a wise master. Oh, and a long life, of course. I release all the mongrels who accept my patronage from this dark, humiliating curse. Their lives will no longer burn out like candles after a few meager decades. They will live as long as humans, or perhaps even longer. The Huntress, who normally has a snide remark for every occasion, for once remains silent. She glares at a demon, her lips pressed together in a thin line. Solas reached Dresden and told me everything. Do you regret letting him go yet? He proved hardier than I thought. The power of my blood shined through even in old wrecks like him, which makes that healthy, strong mongrels that go through the ritual will be unstoppable. I simply need to remove one small obstacle. You. Yes, we're not so easily destroyed. You made us tough and strong, Creator. This is true. Indeed. I have made your people into truly magnificent creatures. You benefited greatly from the color, the poison, the life in the caves, and the horrible suffering you had to endure during the ritual. All of that eliminated the weak and undeserving from among you. Yes, I will continue to weed out the unworthy. I will keep the bloodline strong. How did you make the mongrels leave? I called them. Just like I called your pet mongrel before, only a little louder. To make sure they would rise and come straight to me. An easy thing to do, for they were so confused after crawling out of their homely caves into the big, scary worlds. They were in need of a stern father, a true chief. A low hiss escapes Wenadug's lips. I am their chief. Not yet. But bring me the head of the so-called commander, and you could become one. Savamelha's raucous laughter drowns out Wenadug's hiss of displeasure. And how is your new ritual different from the ones before? The difference, Commander, is that all my children are now with me, and I have absolute power over their minds. While you were being entertained in Luchanira, I was nurturing them with the strength and rage of the fallen. The moment I give the signal, they'll rip out your heart. He's telling the truth. And since that, my tribe has changed. Their blood runs thick and hot in their veins. Their hearts are pounding in their chest. Now they're just like you, my daughter. It is your own blood that whispers to you, urging you to return to your family. You are my offspring. You were born to serve me, and soon you will take your rightful place at my side. I promise. You won't escape. This time. Oh, don't you worry, I'm not going anywhere. But you should have escaped while you still had the chance. The mongrels growl furiously, brandishing their weapons. You glance around at their scowling faces. Many of the mongrels are unfamiliar to you, but you recognize a few of them from the Eltham. Savamelha gives a low, throaty chuckle. I knew that you were coming. I knew when, where, and with what forces you would try to attack me. All this time I've been watching you, through the eyes of one of your closest companions, my spy. The demon turns to Wenadug. My daughter, you've performed your task well. Now there's only one thing left for you to do. Kill your former master and bring me his head, and you will gain my dark benevolence. You will be the foremost among my creations, and I will give you a place at my side. The huntress drops to one knee. I've waited a long time for this moment. I've worked so hard and sacrificed so much. This is my moment of triumph. Wenadug turns towards you, and you can see the cold determination in her eyes. Survival is the only thing that matters. I don't need you anymore. Farewell, and say hello to my father if you happen to meet him in Pharasma's halls.
None shall escape!
Suit yourself, Wenadug.
So, it comes to this.
Alright, let's go absolutely bonkers. Time for a negative eruption. Time to make you regret. Time to make them all regrets turning back. Alright, 280. Geez, that's a lot. Let's continue the pain by activating the Sirocco. That'll make Savamelhe really regret fighting me. Well then.
It looks like you failed, Creator. In the end, you still weren't strong enough to save us. Soon, the Neathers will follow you into oblivion.
Wenadug stares at Savamelhe's mangled corpse. The huntress looks scarcely better than a dead demon. Although her wounds are not fatal, she is badly hurt.
If my plan had worked, Master, think of how much power your death would have brought me. I risked my life for my ambition, but it was a risk worth taking.
The huntress turns her gaze on you, and a wry smile appears on her lips. She doesn't seem to notice her wounds, and when she speaks, her voice is surprisingly calm. What was the price of your loyalty? What did Savamelhe promise you?
He promised me immortality and a place by his side. My people are cursed with short lifespans, but I would be eternal. I would become Savamelech's most favored servant. My people would live in his kingdom, and I would be their queen. I would conquer neighboring territories and collect tribute from the Uplanders. I would punish and rule as I saw fit. And then, who knows? Perhaps Savamelech would grow powerful enough to become a demon lord, and I would be his archpriestess.
Why did you decide to betray me then?
Because I could. I've been scheming since day one. All this time I've been plotting to overthrow you. I trained my fighters to obey me and me alone. I eliminated anyone who posed a threat to my plans. In Alushanira, I secretly contacted Savamelech and made a deal. This whole time, you had no idea that I was working behind your back. Your blind trust made you weak, and it was only natural that I should try and exploit that weakness.
So why are you even capable of loyalty then?
Loyalty? What nonsense. Why should I be loyal to you? You didn't take an interest in me out of the goodness of your heart. You gave me power because I was useful to you. I was simply a tool, a means to an end. You may have been my master. That doesn't mean I owe you anything. We all live and die alone. I look out for myself, and no one else.
The huntress's expression changes. There's a strange, distant look in her eyes.
For people like you and me, survival comes at a cost. We live because others die. Every day we draw breath because someone else has breathed their last. An ally who covered us with their body. An enemy who fell to our blade. How many living souls have you sent to their deaths? It is a number beyond counting. So, I was just following your example, Master. I simply wanted to learn from you, and eventually surpass you. But it seems I wasn't as good a pupil as I thought.
So why should I trust you now?
I'm no longer a threat to you. How could I be? My plan failed, my patron is dead, and I have no one else to turn to. Yes, I know how it sounds, but it's the truth.
The huntress smiles bitterly as she accepts the fate. Your master is dead. The mongrels no longer have a leader.
And we no longer have a purpose. We have no future. We are orphans now, and the world is cruel to orphans, both on the surface and in the caves. We are no longer cursed with short lifespans, and the shield maze is no longer our prison. We are not bound to live behind its walls, but are we really free? In the eyes of the Uplanders, we'll never be anything but a bunch of unwanted strangers. The children of shame. Their road will not be easy. If my tribe is lucky, they might be able to win a fight for some piece of desolate wasteland and eke out an existence there, just as they did in the caves. And if not, I suppose they will die. But I won't live long enough to find out either way.
I am not going to execute you, but you will have to make amends for your crimes. And after everything you've done, that will take a long, long time.
You think you can turn me into a real crusader, don't you, Master? That's funny. But I've learned my lesson. I won't betray you again. I wouldn't dare. You'd kill me for my treachery. You won't spare my life a second time.
Exactly. After a moment of silence, you hear an awkward cough. One of the mongrels is trying to get your attention. When you glance over, he bows his head guiltily and does his best not to make eye contact. Thank you for helping us, Commander. And thank you for lifting the curse on us. Forgive us, Commander. We're free from the demon's grasp, but we're poisoned. The evil inside us could break out at any moment. We don't belong in Dresden. Wenadug snarls dangerously.
Well, well, well. What is this? Desertion? Insubordination?
She steps forward menacingly, and the mongrel cowers in fear. However, her angry words do not wipe the stubborn expression from his face. Wenadug, bring this pack to heel. Wenadug's voice seized with anger.
Listen to me, my kin. Yes, the blood that runs through our veins is cursed. It may frighten you, but this is our blood. The blood of our ancestors. This is who we are. And if you cowards decide to hide in some hole because you're scared, well, you have a lot more in common with the Uplanders than you do with demons. If you want to go rot in dank caves and leave. If you're afraid you're going to hurt someone, then slit your own throat. I don't need a bunch of weak, pathetic nobodies following me around. You have fire in your veins and anger in your heart. You can join my pack. I'll lead you into battle. We will bathe ourselves in the blood of our enemies. We will win glory and renown, and the right to live our lives as we see fit. The road will be dark and dangerous, but I will lead you into the future.
Wenadug's words roused the mongrels into action. The underground crusaders hang on to her every word, and you watch as a bunch of broken, frightened vagabonds transform into a pack of raging, hungry predators. A bloodthirsty light shines in their eyes, and when Wenadug finishes her speech, they explode into a frenzy of savage howls and ferocious battle cries. The mongrels are no longer cowering and afraid. They are ready to fight for their future. Good. And for our troubles, we get some Camellia's stuff, so that's nice. Alright, we get the Estranged Pacifier, so we get some nice stuff here well, here and there. Wait, where'd you go? Okay. I guess she already left, huh? Oh well. Not our big deal. Alright, let's grab what we can here. It's loot all the same, so bugger it. Okay, we're gonna take these off you. Because at this point, we don't need you to wear that sort of stuff anymore. Now, let's see if we can find some interesting stuff here while we're here. Okay, let's pick that lock. There we go. Grab that. Okay, I don't... Yeah, there's a bit here, so we can grab this here, I guess. A little bit of a bag, I guess. Grab that. Alright. Now, let's get going. Alright. Now, we have one final thing to do before we wrap up stream. So, I'm probably going to change the title a little bit here, but yeah. We know what we must do. We go to Dresden. We organize our party properly. Into Dresden we go. We go to the streets, so that way we can go to the... We need to go. We just need to go. Let's just hope things are gonna go well, because this is going to be quite the experience. When in doubt, save. Yep.
I lead, you follow.
Okay, we go all the way over to here. Alright, let's save. Because this is the last thing, and probably the most eventful thing that we are going to be doing. And there is going to be some big changes. You guys are going to get to experience them all, and I'm going to be quite excited to finally see what is going to happen here. So let's get ready. Okay, we're gonna save. Zachorius. The Lich spares you with an impassive glance. I do hope you are here with good reason, students. I'm occupied with my ruminations on the ritual you and I shall perform together. I was visited by Pharasma's priestess, who gave me a warning from her goddess. The Lady of Graves is forever prying into the affairs of those who seek to uncover the mysteries of death. She is immortal, yet unwilling to let others enjoy eternity. Mortality is a treasure she and her cronies will defend most jealously, so be careful. The ziggurat has been upgraded. Perfect. Now we can harness the colossal amount of energy to use the ritual. Now that everything is ready, we may proceed with the ritual. Bolster your spirits and inform me when you are really ready. It will be a great challenge, followed by a great reward. Let the ritual begin. Zachorius burst out laughing and nods, clearly satisfied.
Now begins the great transformation. Now begins the sacramental rite.
What challenges will I face? Zachorius gives you a sinister grin.
We shall commit a murder. We must extinguish all the passions in your heart. They bind you too tightly to your mortality and keep your soul attached to this living body of blood and bone. You must renounce to your desires. Destroy them. Your heart will become cold, hard, and dead. Only then will you have the power you desire, but the price will be high.
How dangerous will this be for me?
I would say it will be painful. This time you will actually die. Before that, though, you will have to endure great suffering. Whether you bear it or die in the process rests solely on your resolve.
What powers do I gain?
Immortality. The eternal amulet that will prevent your soul from departing this life to Pharasma's judgment. And power. Phenomenal power that will grant you the right to reign supreme over death itself.
Very well. Let us begin. Zagorius bursts into triumphant laughter that rings with the promise of the freedom he has sought for decades.
I shall not ask how far you are willing to go, and what you are willing to sacrifice for your power. For the only sacrifice in this ritual is you. Let us proceed. Witness this great and terrible deed. This mortal's soul will reject the curse of perdition and eternal rebirth at Pharasma's hands. This mortal brands its heart with the blessed seal of undeath, and its forehead with the crown of power and immortality. Let the fires burn bright, so that the whole world sees your villainous atrocities. And may your virtue be consumed by the flames. This is the hour of your great torment, and I shall not spare you from suffering. Greed and avarice are fierce passions that can overwhelm even the purest of hearts. But you must reject the gifts of this generous world, and put to death your desire for riches. You must surrender your greatest treasure. These bracers are inscribed with a promise. Your destiny is bound to them, but today we are going to change your destiny. Reject these false promises. Take off your bracers and hand them to me.
Wealth is but dust slipping through my fingers.
The Lich takes the object from your hands. Beautiful! This magnificent item will make an excellent vessel for your soul. Once we put your soul into its phylactery, it will reside there forever, hidden from death. You will be untouchable. These worldly treasures are the easiest to sacrifice to make. Once you have obtained greatness, you will never be able to accumulate tremendous wealth. But now I'm going to deprive you of one of the gifts given by life itself. I will take your youth, your bodily strength. Your muscles will go limp and your joints will become fragile. Your eyes will grow dim, your tongue will not be able to taste, and your brain will shrink. You will never again feel the joy of a healthy body, or partake in the pleasure of entertainment in the flesh. Are you ready to give up all of this and more?
Take away my youth and vitality. The body is insignificant. Only the mind and spirits are important. Zachorius waves his hand in a swift, sure motion, and pain shoots through your body. He leeches your vigor and vitality like a giant spider sucks the blood from its prey. Your whole body begins to age rapidly. Your bones creak. You feel the pain of old wounds, and your fingers lose their strength. Zachorius' withered face betrays no emotion, but you can sense his delight in your suffering. At last, it is time for the ultimate sacrifice. Are you ready to surrender the soul of a creature you love best?
Are you prepared to end the life of one your heart desires? You know with whom I speak. A true master of death could not have a lover. Shatter this bond. Put the victim on the altar, wash your face in their blood, and achieve greatness. Love? I didn't have time for such silliness. The Lich chuckles dryly and cracks his bony knuckles. Well then, you've already begun the process. Your soul is ready to embrace its final death. Let us finish the labor you have started. Power courses through you. Unstoppable, unimaginable power. It overwhelms your body, constricting your movement. The power steals the breath from your lungs and makes your ribs crack. It roars like a hurricane and tears away your flesh. You are being stripped of everything, hollowed out and emptied, until only your spirit, your true essence, remains. The stern and proud master of death, the ruler no longer bound by the fetters of mortal flesh. Your vision fades. Your heartbeat falters. You hear commotion outside the walls of the ziggurats. Shouts? The noise of battle? It doesn't matter. Darkness comes over you. A pleasant chill runs down through your body, and you feel at peace. Your heart beats no more. This is the end. I told you the Whispering Way never forgives. Now's the time for revenge. Seer always knew you were treacherous. He saw corruption in your heart. Let us root it out. Skeletor must not be harmed. Protect him at all costs.
Alright, interesting. Okay, so yeah, no, we have to literally, protect against the attack that CR, and yeah, we basically have to go in with our companions, apparently, to just protect Skeletor. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Okay, we move in here, there we go. Alright, our animal companions are going to take the reign on the side here, but everybody else is gonna go nuts. And they will not stop us. The war is ever bright and burning. Haha! They stood no chance. Your defeated enemies are huddled at your feet. They mutter curses and wait nervously for you to decide their fate. What an unusual alliance. Surprised you managed to put aside your differences to work together. The deranged priestess shrieks with fury. We are the Whispering Way! We lurk in the shadows and act under the cover of night. You have incurred our wrath, the wrath of many others. We will do whatever it takes to destroy you, even if it means that we must unite with our enemies. The Crusaders summon up his courage and reaches for his sword with his injured hand. Their turn shall come, but first we must destroy you. You are the greatest threat to Mendev. The Order of the Sunrise Sword will always be your enemy. For Siyah. Traitors. How dare you turn against me? Despite their humiliating defeats, the Knights are trying to maintain some semblance of dignity. They cast hateful gazes in your direction, but they are clearly terrified of you. Oh, but this is who you... Oh, but it is you who have betrayed us. You were given the honor of leading the crusade, but you defiled our champions and turned them into blasphemous undead. You broke your oaths and betrayed Iomade. You deceived many, but not Siyah.
He could sense the evil in your heart. He forbade us from sheathing our swords until we plunged them into your chest. The undead will teach you the meaning of obedience and discipline. Kill them! Serve you? No! That is a fate worse than death. Curse you, you unholy and monstrous abomination! The other captives watch you silently as they await your judgment. Elyanka, I thought I killed you. Did you enjoy death so much that you came back to be killed again? The regal old woman that you once knew is gone. Instead, you see a grotesque undead monstrosity with burning eyes, talon-like crooked fingers, and milky white skin. It speaks in a furious, gurgling voice. I am a servant of the Pallid Princess. Do you really think death would deter me? I was reborn, and have become more powerful. You have rejected the alliance offered by the followers of the Whispering Way, and now you shall pay. You will permanently die this time. I will make sure nobody brings back your soul. The old woman thrusts out her chin defiantly, and there's an insane light in her eyes. My death is not the end. The Whispering Way is eternal. It is over. All that remains are the bodies at your feet. But your undead servants will soon take care of them. Zachorias holds up your phylactery with his skeletal fingers. Welcome to Unlife, my former student. Now on, you're a Lich. A true master of the undead. My ritual gave you power beyond your wildest dreams. The Lich cocks his head to the side as if he's listening to something. The promise I made is fulfilled at last. I am no longer obligated to serve the Crusade. He looks at you, and there's an evil gleam in his eyes. Am I immortal now? Yes, although there are some limitations to your immortality. However, you no longer have to fear death from old age. You'll not grow sick or decrepit. The blades and spells of your enemies will be powerless to end your existence. Even if your body is destroyed, your soul inside the phylactery will bring you back, and allow you to regain your physical form. We evaluate ourselves. Everything around you feels different. You can sense the subtle energies that flow between the planes. Countless mortal souls whirl around you in an eternal dance, reaching out to you with their translucent fingers. You can hear their whispers clearly. They are now... There is now a void within your chest. Cold and tranquil. It is incredible how clear and focused your mind has become now that the vulgar, incessant thumping of your heart has been silenced. You are holding the vessel that contains my soul. Give it to me. The Lich chuckles with a sinister glee. Not so fast, apprentice. Not too long ago, you held my phylactery in your hands and tried to extort me for power. But now I have your phylactery. I have power over you. I didn't extort you. You offered to share your power with me. Maybe you did, and maybe you didn't. But in the end, you took advantage of me to gain power. What have I gained in return? Nothing. Except for my freedom, which is mine by right anyways. So why shouldn't I take back my generous gift? What exactly is a phylactery? It is a vessel that holds your soul. While your phylactery is intact, you do not have to fear physical destruction, because it will always bring you back. But should something happen to the vessel, Zachorius runs a bony finger along the side of the crystal. The unspoken threat is clear. What will happen if you destroy my phylactery? It is unlikely that you will feel anything. Once you lose your phylactery, you will become as vulnerable as you were before the ritual. Your soul will return to dry bones, and if someone hacks your body to pieces and consigns it to the flames, your soul will depart to face Pharasma's judgment, where you will be punished for a full of your sins. Of course, you could always create a new phylactery, if only you knew how. What do you want from me? Grovel. Get to your knees and beg for mercy. Who knows? Perhaps I will spare you. Have I ever disregarded your advice? We have much in common. I'm sure you understand that it's better to have someone like me as your ally, not your enemy. Zachorius nods reluctantly. Indeed, you were a fine student. You raised a banner of death above the gates of the Crusader stronghold, completed all my tasks, and procured the secret knowledge of the Lady in Shadow. You showed cruelty and cunning to your defeat, as you defeated your enemies, and turned on allies who could have become your future foes. You truly did sacrifice everything to become a Lich. I really couldn't ask for a better student. Very well. Let the past remain in the past. Take your plate beside me, and I shall treat you as my equal. Zachorius hands you the phylactery, respectfully. The Lich bows his head respectfully. I do not believe in fate, but if I did, I would say that your appearance in my sanctum was not an accident. Out of all the mortals in the world, I was fortunate enough to encounter you, a person with limitless potential and a will of iron. Most mortals are fools. I would regret sharing my power with any of them, but I do not regret the time and effort I have invested into you, because you are worthy. After a student finishes their apprenticeship, it is tradition for their master to give them a gift. So please, accept this from me. I am proud to have been your master, Skeletor. We are finished here. I'm no longer a prisoner to my oath, so I can leave this bleak land. But don't think I'll forget about you. I shall keep an eye on you and Dresden. You'll need a good advisor, and I shall need a powerful ally. We will meet again. And that is the power that we have been given. Let us move over, and I will explain what we've basically garnered from this. So if we go to our character here, and we go to abilities, where is it? Give me a second. Not surprise spells, nope. Profane Ascension's already done. Contagion, got... Divination and immunity. The subject is protected from all... Okay, so we're basically immune to divination magic. Or seeing the target through divination magic, rather. We are now an undead creature. As you can see, we no longer have that horrible constitution that we've been carrying. So now, we are basically relying on charisma. As you can see, it's given us a whole heaping 402 HP. An undead creature uses their charisma score in place of their constitution score for when they need to calculate HP, fortitude saves, and any special ability that relies on constitution, such as calculating a breath weapon's DC, for example. You are immune to bleed, petrification, death effects, disease, paralysis, poison, sleep effects, and stunning.
you are basically given a ton of benefits. Of course, there is some slight negatives, I do believe. We sold our youth as a result. However, that is perfectly fine because we're undead. Other than that, yeah, no, we're really, really powerful. That is the benefit we got, and I do believe... Yeah, I think we only got one other thing that we want to do, and that's just to select Skeletor's Mythic Pack specifically. We are forever a Lich, and we are now Skeleton. We are going to remain as Skeletor, and no, not as a Lich here. We have the choice between a mythic ability now. We have the choice between abundant casting if we really want it, but I honestly don't think we do. Now, Bloodline Ascension. Do we want that? It would give us... It would make us immune to cold, paralysis, and sleep. I think as a Lich we already got that, though. Hold on, let's check. You know what? Let's leave it for next time. We've achieved Lichdom, and I'd say that's a good start to the world, I'd say.
Onwards!
But we are going to need to talk with CR and take him over at some point. Well, at the very least, yeah, once we get CR, we can reincarnate him as well into the group. But I digress. One thing at a time, but I digress. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you want to watch my older content, best way to do so is on YouTube. If you want to watch my new content, best way to do so is on Twitch. It has about 7 days worth of content, so take your pick. If you like my stuff and you want to support me, best way you can do so is like, subscribe, comment, and leave a bell notification on YouTube. Or you can follow or watch my streams on Twitch. Either one works. To find out, you just need to check up that for my pawn in either, you know, sort of thing. But I digress. I am going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I know I did. And I'll see you guys next stream. Take care, everyone. And have a good day.